Excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Black Friday savings start now. Get your best deal through the end of the month at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
With Black Friday savings during Happy Honda Days, own or lease your new Honda Accord or Civic today. Your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Guys, tired all the time, gaining weight, low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is making it easier to get answers with a comprehensive wellness panel. It's not just a lab test, it's where better performance begins. Our providers will check your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. A $400 value for just $99, or free if you start treatment. Over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to restore their energy, mood, and confidence. So if you're ready to feel better and live stronger, call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Offer ends November 30th. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Around here, Maverick is more than a name. It's who we are. My dad climbed power poles for a living, and he taught me to keep homes running when it gets cold. This November, donate 5 canned foods to our holiday food drive and choose a furnace tune-up or an electrical safety check. We'll collect your cans at the appointment and keep your heat comfy and your lights steady. So the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com. Limited November appointments. Some restrictions may apply.
Cameron, I just think we need to, see other people.
Are you trading me in?
No. A trade-in is what I'm getting from Kitchen Mart.
A trade-in?
Right now, Kitchen Mart's offering a $750 credit when you trade in your old kitchen countertops for something worth showing off, like granite, marble, or solid surface.
I'm not worth showing off?
Not like the stunning new quartz countertops Kitchen Mart just installed for Karen and Tom.
Huh.
Durable, easy cleanup, made their kitchen look brand new. And Kitchen Mart gave them a $750 trade-in credit to haul off their ugly old tile and grout countertop.
You're dumping me.
That's harsh. You want me to wait till I get the new countertops from Kitchen Mart?
At least hold off till Wednesday. I'm seeing Susan.
Susan!
Now's the perfect time to trade up to beautiful new quartz, granite, marble, or solid surface countertops. Because for a limited time, Kitchen Mart's offering a $750 trade-in credit for your old countertops. Go to kitchenmart.com today and schedule a free in-home consultation and save $750 off new countertops.
No one does it better than KitchenMart.com.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game and high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Yes, on a Friday. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Kyle Ledbetter behind the glass for us today. And it's still a Friday, let us not forget. I understand everything that we have to get into today, because last night felt like the night, right? Last night felt like the night that broke everyone. Last night felt like the night that really showed us just how lost this Kings team is. I know I've been joking them. I know we've been saying, oh my goodness, they're one of the worst teams, they're this, they're that. I know we've said all that, but legitimately now, seriously this time, they might be the worst team in the NBA. The Sacramento Kings might be the worst team in the NBA. I do not know what other team out there I could confidently say that they could beat. Because, okay, let's say the Wizards, let's say the Nets. They'll just spawn some 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" dude that shoots threes, and he's going to have the time of his life. Because it's not about the talent. And we can go back and forth. That was the theme earlier this week. Is this Kings team talented? Talent versus whether or not it makes sense. They have talented guys on their roster. The roster just doesn't make sense. But it's beyond that now. There's no pride on this team. There's no pride. They're just waiting for something to happen. They're just waiting for something to end. Funny enough, we had a conversation like this last season when the De'Aaron Fox stuff happened. But even in the midst of the De'Aaron Fox stuff, the Kings won 7 straight. Even in the midst of that, they won 7 straight. That was a great stretch. Probably the best stretch we've seen from the Kings since Bean Team season. So they had that, and they tried to power through even though we knew the writing was on the wall. Remember that show? If you were listening at that time, and if you're new to the show, appreciate you. Do you remember that? Remember having conversations? Hey, maybe the Kings could convince De'Aaron to stay, right? Maybe this 7-game winning streak could convince De'Aaron to stay. Well, we now know that was not possible, but we had those conversations. This is not where they're at, and eventually it caught up to them. After that 7-game winning streak, it caught up to them. The walking the plank, the dead man walking, the sleepwalking, I should say, just waiting. Purgatory. That's where the Kings are at. Purgatory. But not purgatory in the sense of are they going to be in the plan or not. They're just waiting for this roster to not be this roster anymore. So it's hard. And I'll tell you what, I never have heard. And I know we spoke about what Sam Amick had to say on the morning show. He's always great on the morning show. I love Sam. We get to chat a good bit at games, talk about fatherhood, things like that. And Sam was saying, you know what? Doug might have to change how he goes about his message, right? Enough with the do it for the city, enough with the there's no pride, they don't deserve this. Doug, he sounded, I don't want to say broken, but he sounded more meek than we had ever heard him before. And I'm not talking about Meek Mill. He sounded not broken, but pretty darn close to it. You know, the tone of his voice. He did that thing where you make excuses. And when I say excuses, I know people will get triggered. But there are excuses that make sense. They're called reasons. But he did that thing where he said, I'm not going to make excuses, right after saying what the excuses would be if he were to make them, right? Hey, we're missing Domas. We're trying new things out. We haven't had guys healthy. Then said no excuses, right? He did that thing. We haven't seen that from Doug before. He didn't talk about pride. He didn't seem disgusted. Yeah, you know what? Bleep it. I'll say it. He seemed broken. That's what he seemed. And I can't even speak to it as well as some of you can speak to it that were fans of Doug as a player. I watched from Concord, California, because my father hated the Lakers. So we watched those teams. I'll never forget the smell of, what is it, that spray that you spray on your jeans? Very old school. My dad would be ironing his jeans for the post office the next day, ironing his uniform, his shirt. And he'd have that spray. He's spraying it. I'll never forget watching the Kings as he's getting ready for his next day at work. I remember it like it was yesterday. But I wasn't here in Sacramento like that, like some of you. So to watch Doug be a martyr, essentially, he's going to be a martyr. Dave has said time and time again, he is not going to be let go this season because what's the point? And I agree with Dave. What would you be bringing in somebody else to do when you're about to blow up this roster? So in a weird way, it's almost worse that they're not moving off of him because they're just talk about a lame duck, right? We talked about, you can't coach on the last year of your contract. That's just not what typically happens. That's considered being a lame duck. That's why they gave Mike Brown that extension. Everybody gets an extension. That's just what happens. But this is a lame duck situation because what's going to happen is eventually they're going to blow up this team to some degree. They're not going to get better. The only prayer that Doug has is that after they blow it up, that team exceeds expectations, right? Now, when I say exceeds expectations, hopefully they don't mess up their draft position, but they just look better. Certain things get put in place, right? They look like they're starting to form an identity. That's the only hope Doug has for getting to next season. This is just my opinion. In my opinion. By the way, if you're just now joining us, at 10:30, we will discuss DeMar DeRozan and why. I'll put it to you like this. Everything is kind of going to plan with DeMar DeRozan. That's coming up at 10:30 after 30 minutes of commercial-free talk radio, which we do at the top of every hour. So it's the place to be for 4 hours. But at 10 o'clock, at 11 o'clock, at 12 o'clock, at 1 o'clock, 30 minutes straight, commercial-free, local sports talk radio. So we're going to talk about that at 10:30. But when I look at Doug, nothing on this team makes sense. From the players to the coach. And with March Madness around the corner, birthdays in March, I love it. With March Madness around the corner, okay, I don't necessarily want to get older, but that's a conversation for a different day, especially working with Kyle. But with March Madness around the corner, we're going to see all these pump-up speeches from the Dan Hurleys, right, and the Shaka Smarts, all these pump-up speeches, and you're going to say, man, seems like it's really resonating with this team. And then you look at Doug trying to talk about pride for a city that he bleeds for, that he bled for. The dude bleeds purple. And he's sitting there in the locker room trying to talk to a bunch of 30, 35-year-olds that have zero connection to the city. Zero connection to the city. Now, let's be clear. Doug has not been perfect, right? We've talked on this show about the offense and the whole coaching staff, right? You have guys that have been around. Mike Woodson. What is it that y'all are doing? Respectfully. What is it that y'all are doing? So X's and O's, Doug going to have to wear some of this as well. I was listening to my DeMar DeRozan interview on the way in. And I did that on purpose because we're going to talk about DeMar at 10:30. And I was listening, and I asked DeMar about how the league is changing. And he said all of the right things, right? We might even play it a little bit later. You either got to evolve, and that's just where the league is going. And the good teams know how to evolve with what the league is doing. He said all the right things. Then this team proceeded to go out and do none of it. And I don't think that's on DeMar. I think some of it's on DeMar. But you are who you are. And I don't know why, I thought they would at least be able to morph a little bit into what the league currently is. And they couldn't, and they wouldn't, and they didn't. And every single game, I walked in today, I said, Kyle, normally there's a box score. Right, and maybe Dave already chucked it. But normally there's a box score that I would assume Jason prints out, maybe Chris Verlot. Maybe it is Dave. I'll give him some credit. But normally it's on the table here, and I will pick it up, and we'll talk about it. There wasn't even a box score on the damn table.
First of all, it's definitely not Dave.
That's not Dave.
Second of all, I mean, what are you going to learn from this game?
What's the point?
I mean, people are talking about quitting. People are talking about not showing heart. I mean, you could look at it and be like, hey, Maxime Reynaud did this and this, but then you have to caveat it with in a 40-point defeat. Or this, Devin Carter didn't play in a 40-point defeat. That's the caveat for everything.
And that's crazy. That is free him. And to me, I would say this. Going back to Doug hasn't been put in a perfect situation, right? But also, how come Devin Carter isn't getting any run? And it might sound trivial, but I think it matters. You sit there and you say, we need this type of player. We need someone that's going to hustle. We need someone that's going to defend. We need someone. By the way, don't sleep on Devin Carter's ability to touch the paint. We watched it during Summer League. No, he's not perfect. And who would have thought a year and a half later, I'd be crying for Devin Carter to get minutes? Not me. I wouldn't have thought that, but here we are. But he can't get one measly minute on this pathetic excuse for a Sacramento Kings team. He can't get one measly minute. That's disrespectful as hell. Sorry, Mom. That's disrespectful as hell. And I'd be ticked off if I was Devin Carter. I would be. To watch this garbage every single night. Hell, I'd be ticked off if I was Dario Saric. We can't be worse. We cannot be worse. There is no way that Doug McDermott, Devin Carter, and Dario Saric could be worse than what we watched. Look at this. Look at these negatives. This looks like my account after I hit Vegas. A -22, a -25, -25, -22. Russell Westbrook was a -28. 28. They're all in the 20s. It's embarrassing. And you can't find these guys time? If it's up to you, I thought he showed some version of autonomy when he benched Zach LaVine, but I don't know what the heck is going on. So we can sit there and understand two things. What is the theme of this show time and time again? Compartmentalize. And I can compartmentalize that Doug was not put in a good position, and he's trying to talk about pride and building a culture connected to the city with a bunch of 35-year-olds that do not care. This is just their Sutter Health Park. This is what I've been saying. This is their Sutter Health Park. Hey, I want to get paid $24 million. Okay, Sacramento pay me. That's close enough to LA. Sure, I'll come on down. Oh, you're trying to give me, and it's not the players' fault. Sacramento's doing it, right? But they're not going to connect to the city. Oh my goodness. You're trying to give me 3. I'm Dennis Schroeder. You trying to give me 3 years? Normally, I only get 2. Ever since I tricked off that money from LA, sure, I'll come down. What's up in Sacramento? Zach LaVine. Oh, you're going to trade for me? Cool. I'm getting paid $47 million. And I'm getting paid $50 next season. Yeah, I'll come down. I got no connection to Sacramento. And I don't really care about what's going on with the Beam. Not that I don't care. I don't say they don't care. But they don't have that inherent connection.
I don't think I make too much money. I think I get paid more.
Again, I'm not touching it. Not touching it. So that's what we're dealing with. But then on the other side of it, there are things that Doug is just not doing. There are two sides to this coin. There is the understanding that Doug was not set up for success, and there is the understanding that he's definitely not exceeding expectations, but he is making mistakes where he could be figuring this thing out. I cannot believe I'm sitting here crying for Devin Carter. But this team it's an embarrassment. 137-96. This is the second time in as many weeks the Kings have not had. Do you know how bad you have to be to not have a national game? It's one thing if you get embarrassed for the national game, right? Everybody will talk about it. Do you know how bad you have to be the talk of the NBA and you didn't even have a national game? Not even a national game, not even against one of the big brands? People were looking at. I'm getting text from people in the Bay, from people all around the league that I met at Summer League. Allen, what is going on out there, brother? I don't know.
It was a light schedule last night.
Yeah,
it was only 4 games. You know?
Well, it was enough. Allen, what is going on in Sacramento, my brother? I do not know. But what I do know is that Doug is in a really, really tough spot. He could help himself a little bit. I think he could help himself a little bit. And neither thing has happened, right? The situation hasn't gotten better. And some of the adjustments that I feel like Doug could make, he's just not making. He's just not making. And Zach LaVine, yeah, cool. This is the Zach LaVine thing. He finally got, hey, where's Kayla Anderson at? Finally got past 19. Why? Because they lost by 40. So that's where Zach's going to cook. Don't call on him when you're up against a team that actually matters. Don't call on him when the game is actually on the line. But down 40, oh, I got you 26. Yeah, it's cool. I can go 50% from 3. When the game doesn't matter, I can do that. I got you for that. There's nothing on the line. I got nothing for Drew Eubanks. I mean, he woke up one day, and you wake up one day and you're all of a sudden important at your job. That's Drew Eubanks.
In the league, at some point you got to just take the shot.
You don't have a choice anymore there, Drew. You got to do it. I got no heat for Precious Achiuwa. I got no heat for Drew Eubanks. I don't really have heat for Russell Westbrook. They brought him in. They knew what he was going to be. That's what this is. Okay, DeMar DeRozan only played 15 minutes, 7 points. And we're going to talk about him at 10:30, so I'll pause on that one. Malik Monk only played 14 minutes. I guess we got Keegan back, so we can talk about that. We got Keegan Murray back.
Played him 32 minutes off the bench.
Yeah, hey, get on out there, Keegan. Your legs weren't hurt. Get on out there, brother.
Man, Dennis Schroeder played 25 minutes and made 0 shots.
It's crazy. We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok when it comes to Dennis Schroeder. Actually, we weren't, because I didn't believe them, right? The Kings, oh, man. Can we find the film? I just want to find the film from training camp. And then I guess the problem was the training camp felt like they were cooking offensively. You want to know why? Because they were going up against themselves defensively. Of course they thought they were good on the offensive end. They were going up against their own trash defense.
You think Devin Carter hitting the game winner at the end of practice?
No, that's the last time I seen Devin Carter shoot a basketball. That's the last time.
You know what's kind of crazy is I realized yesterday as Devin wasn't playing is that I just kind of stopped including him on the young core list because, clearly they just don't believe in him.
No, clearly, I would say this is just my opinion. It might be coming from up top. I don't know, but it feels bizarre that a first-round pick, I don't give a bleep who drafted you. It feels like I don't know if maybe he's been injured a good bit, so they don't want him to be injured in case he is a fluff, an added piece in a trade. But the Devin Carter thing feels like it's coming from somewhere else. I am going to give Doug the benefit of the doubt and say that I think the Devin Carter thing might be coming from somewhere else because this makes no sense. A 23-year-old, you're losing by 40, and I don't even know who got the minutes. It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
So the closing lineup, if I remember, they put out Keegan, Neek, Keon. I think Precious Achiuwa was with the closing lineup, and then Maxime. So if Devin can't get run with that group where they didn't even put a point guard in the game.
It's so bizarre.
I just have to conclude they just don't believe in him. I don't understand.
Well, but this is more. I mean, this is more than that. This seems like I said. I gotta be careful. It's a Friday.
But
I got bills to pay. But something is weird. That's where I'm at with this. It's deeper than. I mean, Kyle, you think the Grizzlies believe in Jamal Mashak? I don't even know who Jamal Mashak.
I think that's Jemai.
Jemai Mashak? No, I don't know. But you're going to give him 6 minutes when you're up 40.
Olivier Maxence Prosper played 18.
He played 18.
I didn't even know Omax was there.
My boy Gigi Jackson, 0-5 from 3. That was my boy, though.
Remember those 2 days when you were like, we got to bring in Omax. Got to bring in Omax.
No, I mean, you see him drive to. This has a bunch of. By the way, can we talk about Jock Landale for a second? I know we're not going to spend a lot of time on this game. Who is Jock? Jock Landale, 21 points in 14 minutes. The Kings are getting dudes paid. They are extended. Come play the Sacramento Kings. We'll extend your career. Come play the Sacramento. They are being looked at like food. You remember this? I'm not going to name the high school because I'm not going to be disrespectful. But there were a couple schools, right, when it was right down the street. I really want to say it, but it's a school right down the street from De La Salle, and they weren't good at baseball. They weren't. And every time you just hope that coach didn't do the thing where he started the B team, right? Because he wanted to get them some run, because you knew, oh, this is a 3-for-4 day. This is, look, I'm not a big dude. So if I'm gonna hit a ding dong Donkey Kong, put me up against that team and I'm swinging for the fences. That's how people look at the Kings. Oh, it's who we got next? We got the King. Oh, it's hunting time.
It's Drew Eubanks time.
Oh, it is. We got Drew. Whoa, wait. We got DeMar. He don't defend. We got Precious. God bless him. Drew Eubanks. Okay. Zach LaVine, he don't want to defend. I don't know if he wants to be here. Same with DeMar. And yeah, Westbrook's respectable. They just got Keegan back. No Domantas Sabonis. Nope. Man, y'all smell that? Smells like barbecue chicken to me.
You don't even have to stop at Jock Landale. If you just take the centers for the Memphis Grizzlies, Edey and Landale combined 15 for 16 from the field for 37 points. Like, that's just unbelievable.
When Zach Edey hit a 3 in the first quarter, I almost just drove somewhere. I almost just said, honey, I gotta go. Luckily, they were at swimming practice, so I was with number 2, so I couldn't go anywhere. I would have just walked out if I was by myself. I wanted to take a lap right there. Because Kyle, the brother pulled up in rhythm. This is what I'm talking about. Is Zach Edey pulling up in rhythm, top of the key, beginning of the shot clock against any other, okay, the Wizards, the Pelicans, the Nets. Any other team, is Zach Edey pulling up like that?
Well, when you're up 20, you can do whatever you want.
They weren't even up. I mean, were they? I guess they were up 20 the whole damn game.
It sure felt like. I mean, they were up, 38 at halftime?
I hope you didn't get up to make a grilled cheese. I hope you didn't get up to make a beverage, because by the time you came back, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. Amid Rock says, Allen, are you talking about Northgate? No, not Northgate. It's right down the street from De La Salle. I'm just not going to put him on blast. But it was eating time. It was eating time.
Why is this where you draw the line?
Okay, it was Ignacio Valley.
Okay, thank you.
Ignacio Valley High School. Allen, let me get that 2-0 pitch down the line, baby. The Kings are Ignacio Valley. That's what it is. Because everybody had an Ignacio Valley. Everybody had that. In whatever league, anywhere you played, it's hunting time. This is where we have a career day. That's the Kings. Jock Landale woke up and said, you know what? I think I got 21 in me in under 15 minutes. You know why? Because it's the Sacramento Kings. All right, on the other side, by the way, fully loaded show. It's not just going to be me complaining the whole time, because I wouldn't do that to you. I got in my bag of tricks, and we got some good ones for you. We still got Mike Epps tickets. Okay, that's coming up at 1. We still have one more opportunity for you to get those Causeway Classic tickets at 12. At 11 o'clock, Matt George joins us. You know he's going to go in. And at 1 o'clock, Chris Biederman was boots on the ground, and he spoke with DeMar DeRozan. Go check out that piece at the Sacramento Bee. Chris Biederman will join us at 1. So this show, it's going down for 4 hours straight, all right? I know a lot of you are going to be running around, can't listen for 4. Doesn't matter when you can tune in. We got you. It's going down today. And, of course, all of these interviews that we have will be posted on Sactown Sports app and on the YouTube as well. We will be right back, and I will let you know what's going on with DeMar DeRozan. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It is finally Friday. A cool, foggy start to be expected. Watch for some drops in visibility across the valley floor this morning, quarter mile or less through about 10 a.m. Getting into the afternoon, mostly sunny skies today, upper 50s to low 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Honda 2025 Accord Pilot and Ridgeline Clearance Event is underway right now at Elk Grove Honda, and that means savings for you. Right now is the right time to save. Come see us at Elk Grove Honda, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, tell me what's going on for the big Black Friday sales event.
Well, they say you got to finish strong, so that's what we're doing at Hoblet. Right now, you can save up to $14,500 off MSRP on all remaining new 2025 Ram heavy duties.
I want to make sure you meant to say all heavy duties.
That's what I said. $14,500 off MSRP on all remaining new 2025 Ram heavy duties, with some starting as low as $48,995. It's savings like this that make Hoblet one of the top Ram dealers in America. Plus, with over 400 new heavy-duty Rams available, your new Ram is waiting at HobletDodge.com.
Don't miss your chance to search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$14,500 total net savings on select new 2025 Ram 2500 Laramie and Rebels after $4,500 factory rebates and $10,000 dealer discounts. 5 of this net savings, $48,995 net price on 2025 Ram 2500 Tradesmans. Rebates include $2,000 select inventory cash, $500 on the job upfit for eligible upfit. VIN number 525142. See dealer for details.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Now is the time before winter is full on in your kitchen to make sure your heat or your furnace is ready. How do you do that? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating will get the job done for you like they did for me last winter when our system crashed and burned in the dead of winter. Check them out, leesair.com. Right now, get $100 off any AC heating or plumbing repair. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating does it all, and they've been doing it at a high level for 40 years. See how they can help you stay warm and cozy all winter at leesair.com. That's Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, license number 635355.
Sacramento, the wait is over. The all-new Hard Rock Sports Bar is here at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. Enjoy the ultimate 24/7 sports watching destination with 20 big screens with all the action for the premier game day experience. There's no other place you'd want to be to watch all the games with you and your friends. Now open at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. For more details, visit casino.hardrock.com/Sacramento.
When a person is seriously injured, there's no substitute for the personal legal relationship offered by the local NorCal firm of Ashton and Price. From the first attorney meeting, every important decision is made with a direct consultation with, and I can't believe I have to say this, a real, live, experienced, flesh and blood local attorney. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton and Price, serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries with no fee until we win. For the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. Matt George joins us in 30 minutes. Okay? 30 minutes. You are not going to want to miss what Matt has to say. I know I want to hear it. I'm like a fan myself, waiting to hear what the great Matt George has to say about his Sacramento Kings. That's coming up in 30 minutes. We're giving away Causeway Classic tickets at 12. We are giving away Mike Epps tickets at 1. We will also be joined by Chris Biederman of the Sacramento Bee, who just put out a banger of an article about the state of the Sacramento Kings, as he was one of the only media members in Memphis last night. And he sat and he got to talk to DeMar DeRozan. So that's coming up at 1. So that is something I'm really excited about. I'm excited about the whole show. And I wanted to go here as I mentioned something on social media about DeMar DeRozan. And basically, as far as what I'm hearing, the DeMar DeRozan conversation, it's been happening, right? because the whole thing was kind of bizarre. If you take a step back going into the offseason, I'm sitting there in the post game. DeMar is dang near emotional, talking about his career. And we all in that room, I'm not going to speak for everyone, but most of us in that room thought that, all right, we will never be seeing DeMar DeRozan again. This isn't the team that he joined. This isn't the head coach that he thought he'd have. This isn't the roster he thought he'd have. No De'Aaron Fox anymore. I'm sure he likes playing with Zach LaVine, but that's not what he signed up for. I'm sure he likes playing with Russell Westbrook, not what he signed up for. But even before Russ joined, it just got really quiet during the offseason, right? And everybody was trying to figure out, are they shopping DeMar? What is going on? And we never heard anything, right? There was never any conversation. I asked DeMar during media day, have you got a chance to talk to Scott Perry? And he kept it very simple. He said, yeah, it's all black and white. I was just listening back to it. You can listen to it on YouTube and on the Sactown Sports app. Yeah, it's very black and white. It's about winning, right? And what do we have to do to win? I'm paraphrasing, of course. But there was no mention of what we're building. There was no mention of, and at 36 years old, I don't know why there would be, right? But there's no mention of a connection. Hey, they want to win. We all want to win, right? We're all on the same page. We want to win. Now, not to bring up a very, I should say, infamous term here on the Allen Stiles Show, but the handshake agreement that we discussed over the summer when Terry Rozier was still allowed to play, and the whole Kuminga conversation was hot and bothered, right? Those couple months ago and those glorious weeks where the Kuminga conversation was hot and bothered, I talked about a potential handshake agreement with DeMar DeRozan. Well, I believe that was always the case. And everything with DeMar DeRozan is essentially going to plan, or I should say they had plans on how this thing could go, right? Like running the option in football. Hey, if we do this, then we go here. If we do that, then we go here. The beginning of the summer, hey, DeMar, there really ain't nothing much out there for you. We're going to get a point guard. We already got Zach LaVine, but we're going to go get a point guard, right? We know how y'all got down with Lonzo back in the day. So we got you a point guard. Zach, there's going to be an offseason. DeMar did a bunch of work with the team. So we have all that going on for you, okay? Obviously, Sabonis, a little bit more familiarity there. We got a first-round draft pick coming in. We got Keegan. So how about this, DeMar? Right now, the value ain't there. Let's go into the season, run the option route. If we play well, obviously, you'd be a part of a playoff run, the likes of something you haven't done in a long time, which is kind of why you wanted to come out here. That's option one. Then we hold on to you, see what happens, right? Option two, this thing doesn't work out. We revisit it, and we would be more willing to move you and maybe not get the value back that we think you deserve because we think you're a heck of a ball player, but we would be more willing to move you for a lesser value deal because we want to make sure that you get to a good spot, right? Obviously, we got to make the money work, but your next year isn't guaranteed, so we'll see what we can do there. Well, option one is out. We haven't talked about Sabonis being out, by the way, because there's just so much going on, but we will. But Keegan Murray doesn't play to start the season. You got a first-time head coach in Doug Christie, not put in a great spot, but also at times showed that he is a first-time head coach. That's just reality. There's going to be bumps along the way. Doug told you that himself. And option one is now out the window. So option two is starting to accelerate this process. And as Carmichael Dave mentioned, the December conversation, some of these teams out here that need a bit of scoring, DeMar is probably going to come off the bench. That's what I would assume, depending where they go. The Clippers need something. They can try to do what the Suns are doing because the Clippers also don't have their pick. But they could also just get older, go get a legit second score for James Harden because we don't know when Kawhi is ever coming back, right? Or how often he's going to be around. You're not, and regardless of Kawhi, you don't have Bradley Beal. That was supposed to be your hidden gem, your bargain deal, and he can't play this season. So that is where we're at in the process. That is my belief and others around the league. This was always going to be the case. Hey, DeMar, there ain't nothing out there for you. We're going to go get you a point guard. We're going to see what we can do with this new group with a training camp that went oh so well and see what we can do. DeMar worked with the team a ton. So he went in. Number one, he loves ball. But he went in with the right intentions. But there was always a caveat. And I tried to tell y'all last week, or I think the beginning of this week, all that ha-ha with De'Aaron Fox after the Spurs game, what do you think they were talking about? What do you think you think DeMar was talking about how De'Aaron is part of the farm to fork capital of the world or how much he's having fun at the farm to fork capital of the world? You think that's what they were talking about? No. They were talking about, man, you got out. And I'm trying to be out too. That's what I believe they were joking about, right? I'm not reporting it as if this is for sure what they were talking about, but I mean, I don't think they were talking about Tiger closing. I don't think they were talking about that. So here we are. It is now late November. This thing is overdone, like how my family likes their steaks. And now we're in a position to see how this unfolds. And Scott Perry and the front office have to assess what is appropriate value for DeMar at this moment. Because as we talked about before, is it more important to Danny Ainge it and get everything out of DeMar DeRozan's quote-unquote value, or is it better to just be done, get Scott Perry's guy, let's not forget, Scott Perry's guy, Nick Clifford, more time, now that Keegan's back, get him more time, because Maxime Reynaud's about to get more time. A lot of people think it might be the last time we see Domantas Sabonis in a Kings jersey. We'll talk about that too. But, all right, DeMar, we'll see what's out there for you. Let's cobble together some expiring contracts, some guys that aren't going to re-log jam the situation. People have brought up John Collins and others. And let's get you to a position. Now, I don't know if DeMar would even think the Clippers are in a better spot, but at least he'd be actually home, and we can stop pretending like Sacramento isn't 6 to 7 hours away from where DeMar actually grew up. But we can get you to the Clippers. They can get Kawhi back and see what happens there, even next year, if you will. But his time in Sacramento, this was all a bit calculated. This was all, hey, there's clearly nothing out there. I mean, we heard nothing. We heard absolutely nothing over the summer. Nothing. Nothing. The question was it going to be the Heat? They go get Norman Powell. And the Heat were interested lightly in one of the members of the Kings. I can tell you this much. It wasn't DeMar. I'll let you do that deductive reasoning, but it was not DeMar based on what I was told. So this is where they were supposed to be. Now it turns into, if I'm Scott Perry, BJ Armstrong, and the crew, what we feel like is appropriate value. Because there will be bites out there. But this team is sputtering. So the idea of value is essentially out the window. The value, in my opinion, is making sure Nick Clifford is actually playing legitimate minutes. He played 19 last night. It was a blowout. That is the actual value at this point. It's not what can I get back for DeMar. That ship has sailed. They wanted to see if they could keep it afloat, and I don't believe that that is the number one priority anymore. I think it was always 1A, 1B, and DeMar is having a good season, but DeMar always has good seasons. His scoring is never the question. It's, is there a fit, and when it comes to who is out there, what are they willing to give up? So that's where we're at. And then the last but not least scenario is if you can't find anything, if it's just that barren, which I don't think it will be, but on the other side of the trade deadline, now we're talking buyouts. Because that still gives you, worst case scenario, that still gives you 3 months of basketball where you can make sure that your young guys are getting reps. That still gives you 3 months. If you buy out DeMar DeRozan after the trade deadline, if you really want to make sure that you get as much value as possible, then it doesn't work out, then you get nothing. So I don't know if that would be the case. But those are the options that I believe are being thrown around in the offices of DoCo right now at Golden One Center. That's what it is. On the other side, let's keep the conversation going. Keegan Murray, he looked rusty, but also looked good. Domantas Sabonis, has he played his last game in a Kings uniform? Say it ain't so, or say it is. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This Sponsor the Clock is brought to you by Light the World Giving Machine.
Around here, Maverick is more than a name. It's who we are. My dad climbed power poles for a living, and he taught me to keep homes running when it gets cold. This November, donate 5 canned foods to our holiday food drive and choose a furnace tune-up or an electrical safety check. We'll collect your cans at the appointment and keep your heat comfy and your lights steady. So the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com. Limited November appointments. Some restrictions may apply.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery. Embrace the company of family and friends and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
Savings abound at Elk Grove Honda during the Honda clearance event underway now. This is your final chance to drive home in a new 2025 Honda Accord, Pilot, or Ridgeline at Elk Grove Honda clearance prices. Right now is the right time to save, and if you're looking for pre-owned Hondas, Elk Grove Honda has a huge inventory. Visit the Elk Grove Honda 2025 Accord, Pilot, or Ridgeline clearance sale at Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Kohl's has 20% off gifts that are so good, your family might think you read their minds. Check off your list now with cozy, thoughtful, and stylish gifts that will make them say, oh, how did you know? Yep, with these presents from Kohl's, you're gonna leave them feeling impressed and convinced that you're a psychic. Shop Kohl's for an extra 20% off gifts that are the perfect fit. Select styles. Offer ends November 22nd. Some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Smarter clean in half the time. Brought to you by Swiffer Power Mop. Tired of the mop and bucket struggle? The Swiffer Power Mop gives you a mop and bucket clean without all the extra work. It's an all-in-one cleaning tool that mops smarter, not harder. With built-in solution that breaks down dirt and grime, and a pad with over 300 scrubbing strips to absorb and lock sticky messes. It even gets into places a regular mop can't, and leaves your home smelling fresh for hours. Try the Swiffer Power Mop today. Love it or your money back. This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Cameron, I just think we need to,
see other people.
Are you trading me in?
No, a trade-in is what I'm getting from Kitchen Mart.
A trade-in.
Right now, Kitchen Mart's offering a $750 credit when you trade in your old kitchen countertops for something worth showing off, like granite, marble, or solid surface.
I'm not worth showing off?
Not like the stunning new quartz countertops Kitchen Mart just installed for Karen and Tom. Huh. Durable, easy cleanup, made their kitchen look brand new. And Kitchen Mart gave them a $750 trade-in credit to haul off their ugly old tile and grout countertop.
You're dumping me.
That's harsh. You want me to wait till I get the new countertops from Kitchen Mart?
At least hold off till Wednesday. I'm seeing Susan.
Susan!
Now's the perfect time to trade up to beautiful new quartz, granite, marble, or solid surface countertops. Because for a limited time, Kitchen Mart's offering a $750 trade-in credit for your old countertops. Go to kitchenmart.com today and schedule a free in-home consultation and save $750 off new countertops.
No one does it better than kitchenmart.com.
No payments for 90 days on every new vehicle in stock at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. That's right. No payments until February 2026. Find them online at sacssuperstore.com, and they're centrally located right across from Hayden Oaks Golf Course. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
on Sactown Sports.
Chris Biederman, who joins us at 1, he sat down. We think it was some level of a sit down with DeMar DeRozan. He definitely with Zach LaVine, because there's a lot in here in this Sacramento Bee article. And what caught the headlines is DeMar DeRozan. It's in a bleepy place, DeRozan said when asked about where his team is emotionally. Don't nobody want to lose the way we've been losing. I think it's just everything right now for us. It's just bleep, honestly, he continued. Sometimes when you're in the deep end, it's hard to hear anything. You're just trying to swim your way out one way or another. So that is what DeMar DeRozan had to say to Chris Biederman, okay? And where Domantas Sabonis falls in all this, as he is out with his meniscus injury, that ain't great either. All right. And now you're in a position to where, yes, it's cool that Maxime Reynaud is going to get a lot of run, but there is a larger question looming here as to how this team is going to react and how they're going to be able to, I don't want to say turn this thing around, but make something out of this season. That's where this is all going, because it does take two to tango, and you cannot simply say, hey, well, go make a move, right? I saw a lot of that last night. Go make a move now. What did he say? His phone was ringing incessantly. That was for the Doug Christie position. We should keep that in mind, by the way. I'm just going to say it.
Well, I never believed it from the start.
Well, I do. And I'm saying to keep it in mind because of how things are going right now. So there's all of that. And now you have Domantas Sabonis, who is out. There's just no real relief. And Kings fans don't have relief. Nobody has relief right now. That's part of the issue. And when you don't have that, you're just in a waiting period. You know, there are, and just to rehash it, Sacramento Kings star center Domantas Sabonis has suffered a partially torn meniscus in his left knee and will be reevaluated in 3 to 4 weeks. So another month. We get one, get Keegan, lose Domantas Sabonis. And that broke right as we got off the air, by the way. Right as we got off the air. So that's what's happening there. And the question is whether or not this is the last time we will see Domantas Sabonis in a Kings jersey. I'm going to go Carmichael Dave here, reading the tea leaves. Kind of feels like it is. I mean, that's not to say, it's a month, right? So you figure to be reevaluated. So it took Keegan, what did Keegan take? 5 weeks? Keegan was 4 to 6 and he came back in the 5th week.
Yeah, so 4.5 weeks.
Right. Completely different injury. But my point is, where these guys and how these guys tend to heal. 3 to 4 weeks, let's just call it 4 weeks, that's a month from now. So now we're talking a couple days before Christmas. He'd be ready to go. Do we think some trade, or maybe it's not about a trade. Maybe it's about we were talking last night or yesterday with the roundtable. Maybe it's hey, we've come to a conclusion and Domantas Sabonis will not be playing with the Kings as they find him a trade. It could be that. Maybe it's not a matter of, is he going to be moved in 4 weeks? Maybe it's a matter of, he might be ready to play. That don't mean he's going to play.
I feel pretty confident he's going to play at some point again for the Kings. Like, I'd put it at 85.
Yeah. 3 to 4 weeks is quick. It's still, here's the crazy thing. Kyle, what did we say? Last season, the first trade because of availability with guys. Last season, let's not forget, the first trade was made December 15th.
I think it was Dennis Schroeder, right?
It was.
Yeah.
To the Warriors. So the first trade was December 15th as guys become available. So you're telling me that, and that's a smaller potatoes deal, right? The bigger deals, they happened not in December.
The earliest I can remember one of those deals happening was the OG Anunoby trade was December 30th.
And they've been working on that for 6 years, it felt like.
Yeah.
So it's possible, but I think it more so says, or more so alludes to whether or not his camp is making a decision to play. Personally, if I was a betting man, and I'm not, but Schmal and Miles is, I would bet that he does play again. I want to believe that he's got that dog in him and he wants to play again. I think he does like he's in Napa, but I think he likes being in the area. But I don't know, Kyle. I do think there's something to be said about if he comes back, and they're 3-13 now, if he comes back and they're 7 whatever, his agent or his camp, they might just say, hey, man, we need to have a conversation here.
Yes and no, because it could go both ways, right? If the Kings are 7-29 and they're like, hey, Sabonis, that knee, we gotta let it linger a little bit longer just because they're trying to jockey for draft position.
And let me also say this. There have been some rumblings and bumblings about whether or not Domantas Sabonis has been thrilled with the current situation. As we know, he's not the hub right now. So it's just stuff to keep in mind. Yeah, I guess the thing that's tough, though, is I think given his injury and given the fact that potential trade suitors are either A, happy with what they've got, the Pistons probably wouldn't trade Jalen Duren right now. Not right now.
You know, pick your person down the line, the Warriors, whoever else. Potential trade candidates are fine. I just think he's the most difficult to move in terms of getting adequate compensation for what his value is. Like, LaVine is easy to move if you attach picks, but they would never do that for Domantas Sabonis because Sabonis is so foundational. So yeah. I don't think he's going to get moved before the deadline, and the injury makes me feel like it's less likely he's going to get moved.
The money, man. It's the money, and now, like you said, it's money that ain't moving. Literally, because he's not playing for 3 to 4 weeks. Let's get to Dwayne before the conversation we have with Matt George. What's up, Dwayne? What you got for us?
Kyle Stiles, what the hell is going on, man? For Christ's sake, it was the 4-11 Memphis Grizzlies, man.
I know.
Have you guys noticed that the good teams play with their food, and the teams like the Hawks and the Grizzlies just blow us out from go?
Yeah.
Listen, man, you got to put the beam on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, and keep it moving to the next city that needs a team, man. I'm done. I'm going to be ripping them for the rest of the season, man.
Thanks for the call, Dwayne. Dwayne said put the beam on Facebook Marketplace. That was a good one. All right. On the other side, Matt George joins us, and trust me, Matt George has some information that you are not going to want to miss on. 11 o'clock hour, this is what we're talking about on a Friday. Don't move. More Allen Stiles coming up.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger, Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heat and Air. Right now, breaking news, they're upgrading their offering to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. You hear me talk about them as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement, and now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free, and they'll give you a second opinion and almost certainly save you money. Oh, but wait, there's more. With winter coming up, how about a free furnace special? With full system installation, you're getting a free furnace, not a discounted furnace, a free furnace, and up to $4,000 in rebates while that funding lasts. So get there right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
When I was in Iraq, our convoy was hit. It was bad. After I came home, I could still hear booms and see tracer fire. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories great and small.
With help from DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm part of DAV. We're veterans helping veterans to get the benefits they've earned. And I give my veterans my all.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Naomi Mathis, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Get more value for your money with the new owners at Elk Grove Chevrolet. Right now, supplier pricing is available to everyone, making it easier than ever to drive home in your dream car. Check out the amazing Black Friday specials online, like $5,000 off on the 2025 Colorado. Choose from a wide selection of new and used Chevrolets, plus flexible financing and expert maintenance. Visit them today and experience the difference. MyElkGroveChevrolet.com, where savings and service come standard.
Guys, tired all the time, gaining weight, low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is making it easier to get answers with a comprehensive wellness panel. It's not just a lab test, it's where better performance begins. Our providers will check your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. A $400 value for just $99, or free if you start treatment. Over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to restore their energy, mood, and confidence. So if you're ready to feel better and live stronger, call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Offer ends November 30th. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. But Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
We are going to be joined by Matt George. You know, he is always running around, so we will be joined by him. We will let you know, and the good thing is this is our 30-minute segment. So Matt will join us, and we have some very important questions to ask him. Again, at 12 o'clock, we will be giving away Causeway Classic tickets. Just kidding. Kyle told me that ended yesterday. So congrats to our winners.
Well, I mean, the game is tomorrow, so we had to figure out a winner and contact them, all that stuff.
We normally do stuff all week long.
Well, the game's on Saturday.
Okay, well, fair enough. Let's just promote stuff for 2026 like we always do.
We do have Mike Epps, though.
Mike Epps at 1 o'clock, and that's very simple. We will give you a number, and when we get that number, you will call in, and if you are that lucky number, you will win Mike Epps tickets, which would have been going extremely, extremely quickly. By the way, as we are getting into the 11 o'clock hour, Matt George is going to join us. Keegan Murray played, okay? Keegan Murray played 32 minutes in 48 seconds. He was 5 of 13, 1 of 6 from three-point land, a minus 18, but hey, they were all in the negative, so that doesn't matter. He had 11 points. I liked what I saw from Keegan. It's way too early to tell on anything. It's funny how they didn't start him, but still played him 32 minutes, which was still very healthy. So I would assume going into the rest of the season, Keegan will be back in that starting lineup, and we will have a conversation about who will get sent out of that. Obviously, the easy answer is Precious Achiuwa, right? And Keegan will be able to fill in that gap quite nicely. They get the Nuggets tomorrow. So again, it just doesn't stop. I mean, I don't even feel like Jokic ever sits a game. I feel like he plays every game, but this could be the game to give him a little breather. That's for sure. So Keegan Murray, the first time that it feels like we will finally see Keegan being able to guard Aaron Gordon. He might be on Jokic at some point. I mean, Jokic on Drew Eubanks. That'll be fun. That'll be another good guess to spread. We won't be able to do it because obviously that game is tomorrow, so I don't think it'll be out yet. But yeah, Keegan at the very least is back, and at least we can get something out of it, right? At least we can get something out of it. I want Keegan. He took 13 shots yesterday. I want him to be the leading shot taker. The leading shot taker moving forward. I know that might be impossible, but that would be nice. The DeMar DeRozan thing, though, only playing 15 minutes. I mean, let me say this. When I get on these guys, I don't really blame them, right? If you were DeMar DeRozan at this point in time, would you necessarily want to put your body on the line and for a team that clearly just doesn't match and doesn't make sense, right? So I don't know that it's a matter of quitting or not quitting. I think it's a matter of, hey, we tried. And now we don't have Domantas Sabonis, and we're going to go past the 20-game mark never being, on top of the fact that they don't make sense, but we're going to get past the 20-game mark never being healthy. Right? Not being healthy as a team. So there's just certain things that you cannot overcome. And that's part of the issue here too. And DeMar, to me, as we look back, and some people are doing the thing where all of a sudden Harrison Barnes should have stayed and this makes sense, or this didn't make sense at the time. We don't have to do revisionist history. It just didn't work. And a lot of us thought that it didn't work, but they did know that they needed to upgrade from Harrison Barnes. And if Harrison Barnes had been that guy, that never would have been the case. So that was kind of the issue with with that. And I'm not even going to kind of, string y'all along. We're working on getting Matt George. I can see Kyle in the background. We're trying to figure out. We got a new technical system. So I'm clearly everybody is waiting to hear from Matt George. So I'm just being very honest with you guys because it puts me in a funny spot where I can just see Kyle doing stuff. And I'm just waiting for him to look up at me, and he's not looking up at me.
We are efforting still.
Yes. So they're working on getting Matt George, and we will have him in some way, shape, or form at some point. So just so y'all know, right? Because I don't want you thinking, didn't Allen say Matt George was going to be on? Yes. Yes, we did. And we're working on it right now, okay? So we're going to get Matt George. He's ready. And we're ready. See, I could have walked the dog for about 2 more minutes, and I wouldn't have had to pull back the curtain. That's how it always happens. But now y'all know I would never lie to you or lead you astray like the Kings tried to do with Dennis Schroeder. Matt George joins us of ABC 10. Matt, how you doing?
Sorry, my microphone was working about as hard as the Sacramento Kings did last night, but we're good. We're up to par. How are you, Allen?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It is all good. Thank you for taking the time on a Friday. It's normally a Friday fun day, and we're trying to make it fun in any way, shape, or form that we can. I'm just going to give you the floor, Matt, to start it off here. I've been here for a couple years now, and I really do feel a part of this Sacramento community, this Kings community. But you were born in this, right? You've been through the depths. You've seen all the different iterations of this team before they were considered the Beam team, before the Beam was even a thing. And I just want to give you the floor to start out here on what in the world we watched yesterday and where that is in terms of some of the worst Kings basketball feelings that you've had throughout your life. So the floor is yours, Matt.
Yeah, I don't want to be overly dramatic, but it's genuine when I say I don't remember Sacramento Kings basketball ever being this bad. And quite literally, the Kings have never started off this bad at any point during the record-long playoff drought that Sacramento went through. I mean, that says something. This team being 3-13 through 16 games, the season being effectively over as we know it, and we're not even to Thanksgiving yet. And there's nothing to hope for this roster, right? You look at like Keegan Murray, maybe, although we have a pretty good understanding of who Keegan Murray is. We believe he should be and will be part of hopefully a bright future here in Sacramento, but he is not the future. You know, through all the years, even when the Kings won 17 games, right? Whether it was Tyreek Evans or DeMarcus Cousins or young De'Aaron Fox, we've always had that one player or at least a couple of players that you're like, okay, it's bad right now, but at least there's something to be hopeful for. Maybe, just maybe, we're watching the beginning of something that can blossom into greatness for Sacramento once again. There's just none of that here in Sacramento. What Kings fans need is hope again. Like, there just isn't any hope with this group. And this Kings team plays about as hopeless, like pathetic, disinterested, self-absorbed basketball as I've ever seen. I don't even know if we can call it basketball at this point. It's just a bunch of individuals that really only care about themselves out there, that are not interested in putting on the jersey and representing Sacramento in any sort of positive way. And Allen, this organization has been terrible for so long, and it starts at the top. It starts internally, and they need to look at themselves in the mirror on all levels. But what irritates the heck out of me is knowing that DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine or Domantas Sabonis or any of these guys are going to be able to move on and blame everything that they're going through on Sacramento. It's the Kings. It's this organization. It's toxic. It's terrible. They might be right, but they also need to look into the mirror and recognize we are not doing anything to make this situation better. I think DeMar DeRozan has been terrible. I think Zach LaVine has been empty calories. Domantas Sabonis is a shell of what he was over the last couple seasons. All these guys need to look into the mirror and realize they are quitting in real time in the NBA. And that is one of the biggest insults or one of the biggest criticisms you can ever give a professional athlete. You quit. And not only did you do it once, you've done it twice in an 8-day span. You did it against the Atlanta Hawks, and then you did it last night against the Memphis Grizzlies. It's pathetic. There's no really other way to put it, and these players need to own that. These players need to wear that. I don't care what any of them say. I don't even care what Doug Christie says. We're beyond words at this point. The actions speak volumes, and the actions say that these aren't volunteers. These are hostages in Sacramento, and if they don't want to be there, get them out. Or until you can get them out, send them home.
Matt George, That was well said, and no better way to kick off this conversation, Matt. Look, like I said, I wanted to give you the floor, and I'm glad that I did because there's nothing else I can add to that. I do want to ask you, though, where do you think, outside of the whole, because this has been my whole thing. This team is bad, and we're talking to Matt George, ABC 10, Locked On Kings as well. This has been my gripe. They're bad. They don't make sense. They don't this, they don't that. There's not going to be a parade, but they're not this bad. When did it all go south to the point where it does feel like they quit and gave up? Do you think that these first couple games, obviously they haven't been able to stay healthy, right? You finally get Keegan back, Domantas Sabonis goes down. But do you think that they felt like the first couple weeks here, and it doesn't help that they faced some of the best teams in the league, do you think that they felt like, hey, we gave it a go, not to give them an excuse, but we gave it a go, it didn't work? Because I think what's going on with DeMar is that this was all kind of part of the plan, and if they played well, they would continue and he'd get playoff basketball. If they didn't play well, all right, cool, let's have a conversation. There was just no legitimate bites at the apple in the summer for that to happen. But do you think that they had good intentions early? Because Matt, you're at all the practices, or you're at most of the practices. Either you or my guy Kevin John, and the whole thing, training camp was, no, they look great. Dennis Schroeder, you should see this. So, and the problem was they were facing their own defense. So I'm just trying to figure out, when did this thing go south to where they're not even putting forth effort?
Well, I apologize, Allen. The connection's breaking up a little bit on my end. You have to let me know if my connection went bad.
You're back.
I heard bits and pieces of that. I think I got the gist of what you were talking about.
Okay.
Am I okay?
Yes, you're good now.
Am I good?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, technology in 2025 is apparently not wanting to cooperate. Where did it all go wrong? I mean, there's different points that I could point to for this organization where I can say this all went wrong when they lost in the play-in game in New Orleans, and just it's been
trying to keep it going, but oh man, I think we lost Matt. Somehow this is the Kings' fault. All right. Can we get him on the phone?
Yeah, we can get him
on the phone, please? We need Matt. Kyle is going to give Matt a call. Do not go anywhere because we were just getting warmed up.
I think we might have him back now.
I think we should just go phone. I think we should play it safe. There are a lot of people in here that want to hear about what Matt George has to say. So I'm going to make an executive decision and just give him the old call. And you can always see his beautiful face on ABC 10, right? You can always do that. So we are going to get Matt on the phone, and hopefully that works out for us. I know a lot of people want to hear what Matt George has to say, because we can't leave Matt after a heater like that, right? We cannot leave Matt after a heater like that to kick things off. So Kyle's going to give Matt a call, and he's exactly right. Right, he's exactly right in how he is laying out what is going on with the Kings and how in the world we can get it going. Now we got Matt by phone.
Look, technology stinks anyway. We need all these streaming services and all these internet providers. Let's go back in time. The phone is better anyway.
That's
no one
right.
wants to see my face.
That's right. No, well, I do. You can see it on ABC 10 every night. But Matt, yeah, long story short, my question was too long anyway. The bottom line is, when did this quiet quitting, if you will, when did this start happening? Do you think something broke the team internally? When did this start happening?
I think this team is just extremely mentally fragile. And when you're in training camp and you're only playing each other and you're just practicing each other and you're not really truly facing adversity yet, I think it's easy to say the right things and think you're going to be just fine. But once you get that first taste of adversity, once you get punched in the mouth for the first time, for lack of a better term, that's when you really learn who you are. And we learned very quickly that this team, they will fold, they will quit, and they have done nothing but fold and quit really since this season began. Now, it hasn't gotten to an extreme level as we've seen versus Atlanta and then versus Memphis last night, but I think this team was just a lot of words and very little substance, very little action. And as we've clearly seen, as soon as kind of the rubber meets the road, and as soon as the adversity came, the cracks that were clearly in this locker room started to show. And look, just because you or I or fans or media members or anybody was looking at this Kings team and thinking this is a disjointed roster, this is a roster that cannot coexist, will not work together, doesn't mean the players should believe that. And every indication of how they've played has shown that they felt the same way, they just wouldn't say it. And the fact that, like DeMar DeRozan said during preseason, hey, we don't care about what people say, or it ticks us off. It pisses us off, the narratives about this team. Well, those narratives have not just been proven right, they've been more right than even we realized, right? This team is 3-13 through 16 games. I don't even think the national media expected it to be this bad. So I don't think this team ever believed the words that they said in preseason, or they have a funny way of really, from the first moment that they hit any sort of adversity, and whether you want to say it's injury-driven or not, they folded. They never have looked like a team that's together, that they believe in each other, that they want to play for each other, and they certainly didn't look like a team that had any vested interest in representing Sacramento to the level that Doug Christie wants and does represent Sacramento.
Talking to Matt George, ABC 10, always doing a great job. And you can hear him on our airways from time to time. Matt, let's go here. There were a couple main points that were floating around yesterday, right? And last night after the game. And one of those main points was Domantas Sabonis, out 3 to 4 weeks with that meniscus. And multiple people said this could be the last time we've seen Domantas Sabonis play in a Kings jersey. Can you speak to maybe what you're hearing and whether or not just you personally believe that could be the case?
Yeah, I have not heard or been given any indication that the Kings are anywhere close to trading Domantas Sabonis. I think the Kings would happily trade Domantas Sabonis or DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine or any of these players for the right deal. And honestly, the right deal might be anything that they can get for some of these guys, truth be told. Now, I do know that the Kings are not interested in attaching any sort of draft asset to a Sabonis or a LaVine in order to dump that contract and convince another team like the Brooklyn Nets, who have cap space, to take them. So I don't think Sacramento is going to be in that sort of business necessarily. But I do believe anybody and everybody is available. That even includes like a Keegan Murray. That being said, I think if there's a list of who the Kings want to keep going forward the most, I think Keegan is probably at the top of that list. But there's no way in any shape or form that anybody on this roster should be untouchable, should feel untouchable, and that Scott Perry should operate in that way. Everybody is available for the right deal. Domantas Sabonis is certainly on that list. If I were putting money on it, if I were a betting man, Allen, I would bet that Domantas Sabonis and Zach LaVine are still on this roster after the trade deadline simply because of their contracts. But I do believe they're going to be involved in conversations, and I would say to the other 29 teams, hey, if you want it, come and get it. Just find a way to make the money work.
Talking to Matt George at ABC 10. Matt, where do you think there have been a lot of rumblings and bumblings about how we got here, Doug Christie being Domantas Sabonis' personal coach, and now he's the head coach, and whether or not that locker room was fractured or split between the Mike Brown guys and kind of the Doug Christie guys. In a way, you could argue that Domantas Sabonis asked for this in some capacity, maybe not exactly this, but some form of this. Do you think he's happy with what it has become?
Well, Allen, it's not in a way. It's true. I mean, Domantas Sabonis is part of the group of players that wanted a coaching change. I mean, it's been pretty well known that when the Kings went into that summer offseason, when they negotiated with Mike Brown, there were a group of players, some of which are still on this roster, most of which are still on this roster right now, that were not the biggest fans of Mike Brown, that did not want the Kings to extend Mike Brown. And of course, I compare last season to like a junior high school in terms of drama. And there were two lunch tables. There was the Mike Brown and De'Aaron Fox lunch table. And then there was the Doug Christie and Domantas Sabonis lunch table. And we know what decision the Kings ownership made. They chose the Domantas Sabonis, Doug Christie, and DeMar DeRozan and Malik Monk lunch table, and they now have to wear the fact that that was the complete wrong decision. They fired prematurely after a 5-game losing streak, and the Kings are on an 8-game losing streak now and likely going to hit double digits. They fired Mike Brown, the only successful head coach that they've had in the last almost 20 years. And by proxy, they made that decision knowing full well that De'Aaron Fox told them verbatim during the offseason, if you fire Mike, I'm not playing for another coach. They made that decision knowing the context. They chose Domantas Sabonis. They chose that group. They chose Doug Christie. So whether all of them deserve to be going through this, I think it's a bit harsh to say anybody deserves it. But this is the bed you made, and now you kind of got to lay in it. And that's why all these players need to look at themselves in the mirror and recognize that they're just as much a part of the problem as the organization itself is. But I can tell you, Domantas Sabonis specifically, I've been told is not happy with how he's being used here in Sacramento. I wouldn't expect him to be happy with the team that's 3-13. Sabonis is a competitor. He's super competitive. He wants to win, and as we've seen, he will play through as many injuries as he can in order to help his team win. That's never been a question. So if Domantas Sabonis is not playing, it's because he is legitimately hurt, as we know now with this partially torn meniscus in his left knee. But when he has been playing, I've been told he's been frustrated with how he's being used, how it feels like other guys, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, maybe even Russell Westbrook, are being featured more on offense than he is. There has been a drastically significant drop-off in his production, especially as a passer, which speaks to how horrible this offense is. Even if Doug Christie wants to say it's fine, it's absolutely not. The offense is terrible. The defense is bad, but we expected the defense to be bad. The offense is horrendous compared to the assets that they have on this roster. And Domantas Sabonis is not happy with how he's being used. And what I say to that, Alan, is, hey, tough, man. Nobody's happy with what's going on here, and you were part of the reason why we got to this point. So, again, look in the mirror, own your element of it, and accept that, hey, man, there's not just one person to blame for all of this.
Matt George, ABC 10. Matt, one more, and we'll get you out of here. The other note that took over Kings Twitter, if you will, or the Kings social atmosphere last night was Doug Christie, and whether or not Doug Christie is a lame duck, whether or not this is part of Scott Perry's larger plan, whether or not Doug was put in a good position. Matt, I've said this. I've compared Doug to kind of a college-esque coach, not in a disrespectful way, just how he said, hey, play for pride, play for your city. I think it would have resonated really well if he had a young group, not a bunch of 35-year-olds that have no connection to Sacramento. What are your feelings, and what are you maybe hearing when it comes to Doug Christie? I know Carmichael Dave has been extremely vocal saying, hey, they're not moving off of Doug Christie during the season because there would be no point. But outside of that, he's got the 2-year deal with the 3rd-year option. Does it feel like he is a lame duck in this space? Is there any way he can save this maybe after the trade deadline if a young, scrappy group plays well? What are your thoughts on Doug?
Well, personally, I mean, two things can be true. Number one, I don't believe Doug Christie should be the head coach of the Sacramento Kings. I think Mike Brown should still be the head coach of the Sacramento Kings, and I think the Kings probably recognize their error in that way. And I know I've exhausted people by talking about Mike Brown over the almost year now since he's been fired. That being said, Mike Brown is gone. Doug Christie is here. And I have to be consistent with what I said about Mike Brown talking about Doug. This is poorly built issue from at the foundation, at its core. That is the issue. So I felt that there was no way really that Doug Christie could fail this season coming into this year, because I felt that any failures of this organization would start with the players and with the construction of this roster that we know is broken. And it turns out it's even more broken than we thought. There's no way a roster consisting of this much talent should be as horrible as it is, and not even trying to play. I mean, at least the other teams, like the Indiana Pacers, are having a down year. The other teams that are amongst the cellar in the league right now that have 1, 2, 3 wins, at least they're playing somewhat hard on a nightly basis, and a lot of them have a young player or 2 or 3 to be at least excited about. The Kings are the 3rd oldest roster in the league, and they're horrible, and they don't show up. They don't play for each other. Now, some of that certainly is on the coaching staff, and Doug could certainly do things better. His rotations could be better. X's and O's could be better, of course. But I do not blame Doug for what's happening here in Sacramento. It's not a coaching problem. It's a roster construction problem that Scott Perry needs to clean up. That being said, I haven't heard anything about Doug Christie's job being in jeopardy. I don't think it should be in any way. In fact, if the Kings and Scott Perry were to decide to fire Doug Christie, that would make me even more or even less comfortable with Scott Perry as a coach, because what did we hear him talk about so much during the offseason? This unity of vision, being on the same page. He and Doug Christie are united with what needs to happen. Well, if he were to give up on that before Thanksgiving or barely a month into the season, that's sending off alarm bells to me of, one, is Scott Perry, do his words matter and mean anything? And two, was Doug Christie even Scott Perry's decision to begin with? And there's already speculation about that too. Alan, I'll just put it this way. I don't think Doug should be fired. I don't blame Doug for any of this. In fact, what I think Scott Perry, Vivek Ranadive, this entire organization top to bottom need to do, I think they need to go to Doug Christie and they need to empower him, give him the green light and say, do what you need to do playing-wise, play the young guys, take minutes away from these top veterans, and do it without the fear that you're going to be fired in a couple of years when the 2 years of your contract are up because you're not winning basketball games. That's what they need to do. That's the right thing for this organization Christie, to give him the confidence and the freedom to play Nick Clifford, Maxime Reynaud, Keon Ellis, Keegan Murray, these guys that, in theory, quote-unquote, lower your chances of winning on a nightly basis, but help actually build towards some future that you just do not have right now. That's what I think the Kings need to do. I don't know if they're going to do it, but I certainly would not hire or fire Doug Christie at this point.
Just to be clear, Matt, do you feel the same way if the season ends? Are you saying mid-season or even after one season you think that you feel the same way if they move off of Doug after 1 year? Just to be clear.
Yeah, I don't think they should move on from Doug at any point this season. I think you ride it out. Mm-hmm. And then if you want to reevaluate during the offseason, that's just fine. But at the same time, the way this season is going, you're probably getting, hopefully, a top draft pick in the building next year. And if you feel that Doug can connect and resonate with these young players and get them to buy in for Sacramento and get them to start on this path to actually building a future, then stick with Doug as your coach and give him another full year to see what that looks like instead of half a year of this, whatever the heck this veteran roster is, and then a lost season and months of playing the young guys, which is what I hope the Sacramento Kings do. So I personally think Doug should see out this entire year, and then we can reevaluate in the off season, but that's just me. And I feel like, I'm not reporting this, I'm just saying my personal feeling is that Perry and the organization feels the same way, or at least they should feel that way.
Matt George, you can catch him on ABC 10. Matt, thank you so much. This was as anticipated. We really do appreciate you, man. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. I know you're working all the time. You got Friday Night Lights. You got high school playoffs going on. So we really and the Kings, I guess. So we really appreciate you taking the time. Enjoy the rest of your day, your weekend. We'll talk to you again soon, man.
Sounds good. I'm glad you brought up the prep sports. Hey, it's semifinals all over the Sac Joaquin section for high school football tonight. So if you need some good sports to watch this evening, go and find your local game and check it out. And Alan, next time we'll do this like on a fax machine or a typewriter. We'll just keep moving back in time.
Sounds good. Matt George, thank you again, man. We'll talk to you.
Talk soon.
We are way over time, but you know what, dang it? It was worth it. Let's take a quick breather when we return. Let's dig into this Domantas Sabonis stuff. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It is finally Friday. A cool, foggy start to be expected. Watch for some drops in visibility across the valley floor this morning, quarter mile or less through about 10 a.m. Getting into the afternoon, mostly sunny skies today, upper 50s, low 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Honda 2025 Accord Pilot and Ridgeline Clearance Event is underway right now at Elk Grove Honda, and that means savings for you. Right now is the right time to save. Come see us at Elk Grove Honda, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com. This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Black Friday savings start now. Get your best deal through the end of the month at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
With Black Friday savings during Happy Honda Days, own or lease your new Honda Accord or Civic today. Your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heat and Air. Right now, breaking news, they're upgrading their offering to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy home pros. You hear me talk about them as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement, and now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free, and they'll give you a second opinion and almost certainly save you money. Oh, but wait, there's more. With winter coming up, how about a free furnace special? With full system installation, you're getting a free furnace, not a discounted furnace, a free furnace, and up to $4,000 in rebates while that funding lasts. So get there right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Wow. I got to say, Matt George was incredible. I don't know what's going on with Matt because I sent him a text saying thank you so much. And his texts are green, but it wasn't going through. I've never seen this before on a green text, right? You know when you send an iMessage and it won't say delivered, so then you send it as a text message. You can do that. I said, Matt, man, that was incredible. Thank you so much. And it did it, but I don't believe he has an iPhone, so I do not know what. So then it gave me an option to send as an SMS. So I don't know what's going on with Matt from what dimension he's in, but he brought the heat, and we appreciate him for that.
He did, even though I'm guessing he's just got like bad connection at home all across the board. Whatever.
So I sent it to him as a CMS. I've never done that before. I just wanted to say thank you. So
wow.
Yeah. So I appreciate Matt George for everything he brought to the table, and he was spot on all of it. We got some reporting in there as well. This Domantas Sabonis stuff, man, oh man, are you serious?
I mean, I will say, anytime I hear like, oh, a player on the team is not happy with their role on offense, it's Sabonis. I saw Zach LaVine talking with Chris Biederman about it. Like, yeah, welcome to the club. The offense is bogged down and there's not flow to it, and so everyone ends up unhappy with it.
Kyle, and I know that we joked about this. Actually, it was Ramsey. Okay, because it was last week. But I know I joke about this movie a lot, but it is the one that I always talk about with Brendan Fraser and Elizabeth Hurley, Bedazzled. This is what this is. When you get like I don't know if she was the devil, but just pretend it's a genie. And when you wish for something, but if you're not specific enough with the wish, you end up in a tough situation. And it feels like, allegedly, Domantas Sabonis is Brendan Fraser in this position, and he wished for something, and he got it, but what he got didn't really fit maybe what he fully wanted or hoped for in the wish.
Oh, so you're just describing the plot of Shrek 4.
Sure. See, now you're doing the thing to me.
Yeah.
Now you're doing a thing to me. I stopped at Shrek 2, I think.
I'm Gen Zing you.
Is there a Shrek 4?
Yes.
Huh.
Shrek 3 is the one that is not canon because it was terrible, but it has Justin Timberlake in it.
Okay.
Shrek 4 is the one with Rumpelstiltskin.
916-339-1140. Let's get to Jennifer, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Jennifer? Happy Friday. What you got for us?
Hey, thanks for letting me join you guys. I really appreciate the opportunity to get to at least meet you on the phone and radio.
Sure.
My call is about being bold. My opinion is bold, but to me is obvious. I'm over Doug Christie being thrown under the bus. This is a guy that has done it. And what he's done with Sacramento, what he really, I know, can and should be able to accomplish for this team is unquestionable to me. And I say, can we please hold the players responsible? Can we get a group of guys out there that are playing with joy, with accountability? Most importantly, gratitude. I mean, if they are doing what they've loved ever since they were probably 3 years old, and I just don't understand hold the players accountable.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Jennifer. Great stuff. Yeah, if you don't want to be out there, I think that there needs to be a conversation, right? Because it isn't as simple as high school. And they might start getting paid in high school pretty soon here. But high school, I can't say college anymore because they do get paid. But it's not as simple as high school because there is money involved when you are dealing with these guys. But I do think it gives you an opportunity that you wouldn't have in high school because, of course, everybody wants to play. But there probably needs to be a conversation after DeMar DeRozan played 15 minutes. And I think the conversation already happened, to be honest with you. And that's what I said at 10:30. But there needs to be a conversation. Hey, guys, so what are we doing here in general? The difference is Zach LaVine is stuck here. Sorry, you get your $47 million and be merry, but you are stuck in Sacramento as far as I'm concerned. So that's that situation. Domantas Sabonis, I don't know. It's a value conversation. So then that just leaves DeMar DeRozan. And the question is, hey, do you want to keep playing? Do you want us to look for something? Or I should say, we know you want us to look for something. Do you want to keep playing in the interim? What do you want to do? Because this could be a lot easier for everyone involved. When it comes to Zach, and we have some quotes from Chris Biederman, which will make you feel a lot better about Zach. I'm going to tell you that right now. So we have some quotes from Zach LaVine to Chris Biederman, who will join us at 1 o'clock. And it'll make you feel better about Zach, for sure, and what he's trying to bring to the table. But, yeah, Domantas Sabonis obviously is out now. I think it comes down to DeMar DeRozan. All right, what are we doing, right? You got your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Hey, what are we doing, right? Where is this thing going? Kevin, Matt, we're playing catch-up right now from that outstanding Matt George conversation. Do not move. You kick off the next segment, and we want to hear from you. Keep those phone lines filling up, 916-329-1140 on South Sactown Sports.
Hello, I'm Frank Cock with Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. The stock market is pulling back this week as concerns rise that the Federal Reserve may be boxed in by its dual mandate. Many analysts say valuations across major indexes have stretched too far, and that enthusiasm around artificial intelligence may be due for a reset as investors recalibrate long-term expectations. Fresh economic data shows the jobs market cooling while new tariffs are already flowing through to consumers at higher prices. That raises the risk that financially stressed households could scale back spending, a scenario that brings the word stagflation back into the market conversations. And since stock valuations depend heavily on expectations for revenue and profit growth, that possibility has cast a meaningful shadow over equities. Still, history shows that market dips often attract risk-tolerant buyers. Since April's lows, declines of this size in major indexes have repeatedly triggered buy the dip behavior. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Mosaic Wealth, member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
Staples presents An Easy Holiday.
Running a small business during the holidays is hard.
No truer words were...
But this year, Staples helped me have an easy holiday.
Your script has a typo.
Nope, easy peasy. I just ordered online at staples.com and picked up in store. And with UPS on site, shipping was easy too. Plus, huge savings on tech, custom cards, even my holiday sale signage.
Visit your local Staples store or staples.com today for up to 45% off select laptops.
That was easy.
Ends 12/27.
Get more value for your money with the new owners at Elk Grove Chevrolet. Right now, supplier pricing is available to everyone, making it easier than ever to drive home in your dream car. Check out the amazing Black Friday specials online, like up to $11,000 off the 2025 Silverado 1500. Choose from a wide selection of new and used Chevrolets, plus flexible financing and expert maintenance. Visit them today and experience the difference. MyElkGroveChevrolet.com, where savings and service come standard.
Around here, Maverick is more than a name. It's who we are. My dad climbed power poles for a living, and he taught me to keep homes running when it gets cold. This November, donate 5 canned foods to our holiday food drive and choose a furnace tune-up or an electrical safety check. We'll collect your cans at the appointment and keep your heat comfy and your lights steady. So the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com. Limited November appointments. Some restrictions may apply.
Guys, it's time to know your numbers and what they mean. And right now, Revive Men's Health is offering a $400 comprehensive wellness panel for just $99. Free if you start treatment. Offer ends November 30th. Book today at revivemenshealth.com. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sactown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. Someone says, pool guy Mark, I wish we can go back in time and not trade Halliburton. Oh no, we're doing the back in time thing. What's the one thing that you wouldn't do? Or what's the change that you would make? There's just too many with the Kings.
You have to separate it by decade.
I wonder if Domantas Sabonis has any. That's a good question, right? As Matt George joined us and the conversation was about Doug Christie, Domantas Sabonis, DeMar DeRozan. Which direction is this thing going, and how did we get here? I guess is a better question. But even Matt said this is why I brought up the lame duck thing, because even Matt said he would be appalled, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he would be appalled if the Kings fired Doug during the season. That still only gives you one season. So Doug would have gotten this whatever season where they're going to trade someone, and 50 games last season where De'Aaron had already said, I don't want to play for anybody else. They end up trading De'Aaron, and then they get the interim beam team, and that'll be a wrap for Doug. That'll be a wrap for Doug. And because here's the thing. I don't know what happens, Kyle, when you, I guess, skip the line a little bit, because now Doug would have some terrible coaching experience, not a terrible looking resume, if you will, and he wouldn't have a lot. He would have to not start over, but he would have to go back to somebody else's bench, and he can't go back to the Kings bench. So this is a complete disaster. And I would say, to Matt's point, the whole thing, and there was somebody else I was talking to yesterday, I don't know that they want me to say it or not, but they agreed that Doug never should have been the head coach. He wasn't, I don't know that he was ready or not. It just, if you care about the longevity, that's probably one of the most underrated, short-sighted moves that the Kings have made. We talk about Halliburton, we can argue that. We talk about De'Aaron Fox, we can argue that. But somebody that you truly believed could lead this team, if you didn't know what was going to happen, you should not have made Doug the head coach. You could have left him on. Now, you would have had to, you could have even made a decision to go into this season. But now he's got 50 games, maybe more, over 50 games from last season, and now this on his record this season. And if he gets let go at the end of the season, that resume is a mess.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, but Doug would have to ask himself where he wants to go, because this was his dream job. His dream job was to be the head coach of the Sacramento Kings. Mm-hmm. He got into coaching with the intention of becoming the head coach of the Sacramento Kings.
Yes.
If he gets fired, then he's got to kind of look at himself and be like, do I want to
keep coaching?
Well, do you want to keep coaching? Because I think he does, but do I want to go to Orlando and be someone's fourth assistant? Do I want to go to Memphis and be someone's fourth assistant kind of question? Do I want to try and work back to one day be an NBA head coach again? Or do I want to try and coach somewhere else? Now, to the point about should he have ever been the head coach in the first place, this goes back to they didn't do it, but they could have just named him the permanent head coach when they fired Mike, because ownership wanted Doug Christie to be the head coach. Sam Amick reported Monty McNair was bullish on firing Mike Brown and the coaching staff. He didn't really want to do it until he absolutely had to, because it was coming down on him, and ultimately he got fired anyways, right? At the same time, if you're going to fire Mike Brown, your lead assistant, Jay Triano, had been an interim head coach in multiple places in the league. He was an interim coach in Toronto before getting the job, and he was an interim coach in Phoenix when they fired a coach 3 games into the season. So you had someone who already had done the interim coaching job, and this is the direction they went because they wanted Doug as the coach.
But you know what's so funny, Kyle, as I'm thinking about it as well, did they go with Doug? Because if we're not mistaken, did they go with Doug? And I finally got a text back from Matt. I can't wait to read it. Did they go with Doug because the other guys that were ahead of Doug were connected to Mike Brown? And we do know, as Luke Loud said, I need to go to Dave's favorite school, Florida State, immediately. We do know that there was a level of, hey, it's a kind of a chicken or the egg thing, right? Because they ended up going with Doug. So then Luke Loud says, well, I'm up out of here. How would it have looked if they fired Mike and guys that were associated with Mike, they made one of them the interim head coach? I guess what I'm saying is once they burned the Mike bridge, it always comes back to Mike. Because burning the Mike bridge may have burned all of this, whether it's De'Aaron Fox or the assistant coaches, to where, well, we have to go with Doug because we don't know how things are going to go if we go with one of these coaches that was actually connected to Mike. Doug was not actually connected to Mike.
But I feel like that misses on the point of firing Mike Brown. Like, you fire Mike Brown to instill Doug Christie because you think Doug should have been the head coach all along. Mm-hmm. Seems like most people, I mean, Matt George certainly doesn't agree with that assessment, and many Kings fans would also agree that Mike Brown probably should have been the head coach over Doug 12 months ago, 14 months ago, right? But if you, and I said this at the time, when you fire Mike Brown, this season doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Jay Triano or Luke Laux or Doug Christie is the interim. You get to the spring.
But I think it did matter for Doug because, like you said, Jay Triano, he is who he is, right? You can just, that should have been the easy move to do. Once you say we are pulling the Doug card, if this is Uno, right? We are drawing the Doug card now. You can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. So that is why I'm saying I don't think they should have went with Doug if they truly believed in the longevity of Doug. They should have let Scott Perry assess the situation, but by implementing Doug in a hastily, just like my uncle says out there in Panama, haste make waste, in a hasty situation, now everything changes.
Yeah, but I feel like from Doug's standpoint, if you do evaluate the landscape, I mean, I'm thinking back that Jordan Ott, who got hired with the Suns, he has like a decade of NBA assistant coaching experience. Like, no one's getting hired as an NBA head coach with 3 years of deep bench experience, unless it's like JJ Redick because he did a podcast with LeBron. And there's probably a few examples, but like, if you were just evaluating the landscape, Doug probably was going to need more years as an assistant. Like, look at Bobby Jackson. Bobby Jackson was an assistant in Sacramento, left to go to Philadelphia, was a G League head coach at one point.
Then I don't even think we're saying different things, though.
Yeah.
Right? I don't even think we're saying different things. I don't think you're just saying this is what they believed, right? I'm saying I think they put Doug in a bad spot.
You gave a coach who probably only would have been a head coach in Sacramento because of his connection to Sacramento. You put him in a poor position to succeed when you had him take over in the middle of the season and traded the star player. So you brought in an entire new roster that had to learn to play with each other.
Let's get to these calls. Kevin has been waiting. 916-339-1140 if you want to be part of the conversation. What's up, Kevin? Happy Friday. What you got for us?
Styles Files. First time, long time. Thanks for having me. And look, I got a solution for the Sacramento Kings. Now, is this solution going to make
Wait. Is this the great Kevin Dana?
Yes, it
Kevin,
is.
Well, you gotta say who it. Kevin Dana, voice of the Santa Cruz Warriors. Kevin Dana, you know him, you've heard him before, you love him, you can hear him on the Warriors radio broadcast as well. You can hear him doing a lot of different broadcasts for. What else do you do, Kev? What else do you do for USA basketball? You're all over the place, Kev.
Yeah, the Valkyries, Sea Doves,
that's right.
Women's basketball, you name it. WPBA, my WPBA brethren, Allen Stiles here. So, yeah, man. Hey, I've been marinating on this. I was watching a Stockton Kings game last week, and I'm like, I have to call into Allen's show because is this going to make them a play-in team? No. But when you're trying to eat innings in an 82-game regular season, and you want guys who have a positive impact on the game, you have to play Daquan Plowden. I'm telling you, he's on a two-way contract.
Yep.
I've seen this guy be a winning player in Summer League, in the G League. His first NBA game with the Atlanta Hawks hit his first 6 or 7 shots at 19 points in his NBA debut. And I am as sure as this as I am splitting aces at Thunder Valley. You know how much I love my Thunder Valley.
I
And
do.
Speaking of my favorite gaming establishment, next time I play roulette there, I'm putting money on 29. I can't remember if it's a red or black number. I'll leave that to you.
It's black. I don't know how I would know that, but it is.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Kevin, wow, what a joy. I did not know. I know that voice anywhere. Okay, it's one of the most well-known voices in NBA radio. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us, man. That was incredible. And Kev, I tried to tell them I interviewed Daquan Plowden on Media Day. Philly guy, you know he's gritty. Okay, he talked about he likes the salt and pepper and the ketchup on his cheesesteak. Not sure about that, but I would trust him shooting the three ball and defending, being a 3-and-D guy that we don't have.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you, he can jump out the gym, too. This guy had some monster dunks in Summer League when he was with Golden State. Golden State made their decisions. They had a lot of talent at the two-way kind of spot, so they couldn't keep him. But this is an NBA player. He is he's like a 10th to 12 man on a winning team. On a playoff team, he could get you 16 minutes a game. And in a season like this, with Sabonis being injured and the rough start they've had, this guy could play 24 minutes a night. I promise you.
Kevin Dana, thank you so much for joining us, man. Yeah, we got to link up pretty darn soon. But you can hear Kevin on Valkyrie Radio. Outstanding first season, inaugural season for the Valkyries. And Kevin, great job as always. That's why you are a living legend and a growing legend in the game. We'll talk to you soon, man. I'm going to text you.
Yeah. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it.
Kevin Dana, great stuff. Casey, AC, we see you. Javi as well. We got to hit this break, people. I don't want to get yelled at like Carmichael Dave. 12 o'clock hour coming up, and we still got to get to Domantas Sabonis and more. Zach Levine, Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Savings abound at Elk Grove Honda during the Honda clearance event underway now. This is your final chance to drive home in a new 2025 Honda Accord, Pilot, or Ridgeline at Elk Grove Honda clearance prices. Right now is the right time to save, and if you're looking for pre-owned Hondas, Elk Grove Honda has a huge inventory. Visit the Elk Grove Honda 2025 Accord, Pilot, or Ridgeline clearance sale at Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day, yeah?
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
On Sactown Sports.
12 o'clock on the dot. And we are an hour away from Chris Biederman of the Sacramento Bee. It's a great article, and just to be completely honest with you, it is, I think, maybe on purpose in front of the paywall. So if you want to take a look and, oh, Allen, I don't have a account for the Sacramento Bee, you can check it out. Okay, this one, it's worth it for the Zach LaVine talk specifically that I think maybe gets misconstrued, and I might be part of that. I've been really hard on Zach LaVine these last couple weeks, so that's something that you're going to want to check out, and we're going to hear from Chris Biederman in an hour. And he is, I think he's in Denver, so he was in, I think he's in the air right now because he was obviously in Tennessee, and he told me, hey, well, I can do later in the day because I'll be off of the plane. So we're going to talk to Chris Biederman, who was boots on the ground and right there with the team, and get the vibe. I mean, I can tell you what the vibe is. Probably not great, but we can talk to Chris about all of that coming up in an hour. Also in an hour, Mike Epps tickets. So I've been trying to let people know who listen on the app earlier to give you enough time. Mike Epps tickets at 1:00. They've been flying off the shelves like Turbo Man and Jingle All the Way. Mike Epps tickets, 1:00. Your last chance. December 5th, Hard Rock Live, 1:00. 916-339-1140 is the number you're going to use for that. And it's the number we're going to use to talk to Casey right now. What's up, Casey? What you got for us?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not too much, man. Happy Friday. What you got?
So I like Doug Christie, and I'm going to say that if anybody looks at this team and says the problem is Doug Christie, then, you don't really know basketball very well. This team is not constructed to win. And the sad thing for Doug Christie is I think he just had to take the job at the time that he took it because, like you said, it was his dream job. Mm-hmm. So I think as fans, we've known for years that the real person running the team, whether we like it or not, is Vivek. And I think Doug's basically having to do what Vivek says, because how else do you explain Devin Carter getting 0 minutes in a 40-point blowout? Like, he's playing guys that shouldn't be playing because I believe ownership wants those quote-unquote star players to be playing because they think that's what the fans want to see. But really, the fans want to see it blown up, play the young guys, and get rid of any older guys that we can and rebuild for the future.
Yeah, that's a great call, Casey. You know, when you were talking, because we're coming up on Thanksgiving, and obviously there is a team that always plays on Thanksgiving, and they just put the beat down on, not my Raiders anymore, but somebody's Raiders, but that's the Cowboys, right? There's a little bit of Jerry Jones in Doco. There's a little bit of Jerry Jones walking around Doco, don't you think? A little bit of Jerry Jones in Golden One Center. A little bit of let's sell some tickets, right? We need a little less of that and more, does this team make sense? But yeah, even the DeMar DeRozan thing. I think the DeMar DeRozan thing, it was a little Jerry Jonesy. It was a little, let's sell some tickets, right? These are the types of owners that we talk about. And the Raiders not doing well either. They're not necessarily looking for stars, but they just don't want to say uncle to keep butts in the seats. But yeah, a little Jerry Jones-esque, if you will, trying to go get DeMar DeRozan. Well, we don't think it's actually going to work. And people in the building did think that, by the way. I can confirm that. Well, do it and figure it out later. We'll make it work. Remember that on Friday? This ain't enough. When Chris Tucker says, this ain't enough. And his mama says, make it enough. This ain't going to work. Make it work. Well, it can't, especially when the other pieces don't work. And let's not sleep on maybe the idea of LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. I know they said they needed a point guard, but did they think that this was going to work? Right? They're both basketball players. Did they think it was going to work the second time around? Did anybody talk to DeMar? Hey, this is what we're thinking to bring over Zach LaVine, who you just kind of made your way away from. If DeMar knows, hey, there's a specific type of basketball being played nowadays, which he said on these airwaves, you can check that out on YouTube on the Sactown Sports app. But then you keep bringing in the opposite. DeMar might say, this is not on me to change how I play. This is not on me to change how I play. I should be put on a team that everyone else is doing those types of things, right? You're trying to ask a 36-year-old DeMar DeRozan to change, and I get it, he's been getting paid $24 million, but it's much easier to place him on a team where, hey, all the rest of our guys are kind of doing the 2025 basketball thing, but then when we need a bucket every now and then, that's DeMar DeRozan. Again, it's 24. That what I just described is not worth $24 million, but you understand what I'm trying to say. 916-339-1140. Phone line's off the hook. Let's get to AC. Wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, AC? What you got for us?
Hey, Alan, it's Alan. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Alan. How you doing?
I'm not doing that well. I have so many questions, but the first one is, this is a bad year for all three of my teams, and I'll let you guess which teams those are.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Who are they?
A Kings fan, and an Oakland A's fan. So it's been a really bad year.
Oh, my gosh, Alan. I'm sorry. I am sorry.
Yeah, so remember the old, what's the definition of insanity?
Mm-hmm.
And, it's repeating the same things over and over again without, with expecting different results.
Yeah.
We love to hire ex-King coaches and torture them with bad teams and diminish and tarnish their reputation, which is just another tragedy all in itself. And that's what we're doing, unfortunately, with Doug Christie. Now, I'm not going to say Doug Christie's doing everything right. What the hell are you doing playing Dennis Schroeder, who couldn't hit a golf ball into the ocean from the coastline?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, Alan. Thanks for the call. And he only took, he finally chilled out. Yesterday, he only took 8 shots. Well, he chilled out because he didn't make one. He had 3 points, and there were 3 free throws, Dennis Schroeder. Yeah, that's been another miss. Just everything you could do wrong. You know who the Kings are, and this is what I always joke about myself, right? I go to and no free promo here because we're growing every day and somebody can make a lot of money working with us. But I go to my grocery store off Arena when I go home in the Thomas, and I'm cutting it close because, I got to get home. Wifey's waiting for me to get back, and I got to grab something from the grocery store. And I'm the guy that always picks the wrong line. Anything I do in that capacity is always wrong. A couple days ago, I was rushing because it was my wife's birthday. I was trying to grab her something, so I had to go to the grocery store in the morning. It's 6 a.m. The self-checkout ain't open, and the dude in front of us is legitimately grocery shopping at 6 a.m, multiple coupons, and I didn't even blame him. Why you only got, 6 is not that early. Why do you only have one lane open? But even when there are multiple lanes open, I'm the guy that always chooses the wrong one. Now, I don't know that at the time, so maybe that's the difference between myself and the Kings. The Kings, somebody is telling them, hey, you probably shouldn't go in that line because that line has 2 carts with a bunch of people in it and 2 toddlers running around that might pull up with more food, okay, and Snickers and whatever stupid treats. And the Kings say, I'm going to get in that line anyway. It looks quicker than the other one. That's got 1 person in line with 3 things. And the Kings say, I'm going to go in that line anyway because I think it's going to be quicker. That's who they are. At least when I do it, I don't know. Let's get to Tori, who wants to be a part of a conversation. What's up, Tori? Happy Friday. What you got for us?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Just trying to make it quick. I don't want to take too much time on it, but I think there has been a running narrative ever since the offseason that the owner's the issue and the roster's bad, but I just feel like there's a lot of teams that have less than us that do better, and not just this year, but you want to look at older teams in the past, like the Clippers, who have washed up veterans over and over again, but they're still a sub-500 or better team out west. So I know this team wasn't supposed to be a championship contender, but I think Christie is to blame for 3-11. There's no offense being ran at all, and this is a team that's more than capable with Preston and Eubanks. We're missing some spots, obviously, but it's not the worst team in the world, and these guys are all professional, all-star caliber players. It should be way better than this, so I think Christie needs to go.
Thanks for the call, Tori. Great stuff. So who are we blaming for yesterday, right? Yesterday is a perfect example. We've said this before about the Hawks. we said this before about some other team that they lost big to that they had no business losing to. Not even kind of the Spurs, but not really the Spurs. I would say the Hawks and now the Grizzlies. Who is to blame, right? Because when we have Matt George on, Matt was more so saying that these guys are just not, they've given up, right? It feels like they've given up. It feels like they just rolled the ball out there and, they just want to get their numbers right, and that's about it. Tori is alluding to Doug Christie should have some responsibility, and I would agree with Tori. I just almost feel like I agree with you, Tori, from last week. Yesterday wasn't about X's and O's. Yesterday was about this team is done, and I don't know if that's about Doug because I don't think there's anybody you can bring in where this team wouldn't be done because they all know that this thing is cooked. So I agree with you, but I don't even really count last night as a Doug thing because the team just gave up. Now, do we want to do lost the locker room? That's what we did with Mike Brown. Maybe, but the difference is this isn't a locker room. Doug probably has lost the locker room, lost the vets. But the difference is these vets aren't going to be around, right? They moved on from Mike because they knew De'Aaron Fox would be gone, but they thought we have something with these vets that we want to try to hold on to. So that matters when you lose that locker room. They don't want to hold on to anything with these vets. And the vets know it. So they're all just staring. I agree. I just think that it's too far gone now. When they were losing to the Bulls and when Doug pulled them out and I complained because there was over 2 minutes left, when those things were happening, I'm with you, Tori. But now, last night, we're past that. We're past X's and O's because I think this team is mentally broken.
I guess where I'm stuck with it, and this kind of goes back to what Matt talked about, is so much of the conversation last night revolved around quitting and giving up, and I just don't feel comfortable being able to diagnose that just from watching it on my couch and not actually knowing
That's fine,
guys.
But that's your opinion, though.
Right, but then it makes it hard to say, okay, if it is that, then it should be the player's fault. What can Doug do without the motivation?
That's why yesterday to me, because I'll get on Doug for the X's and O's. I did in that Nuggets game when they didn't run something for Zach, and Zach was extremely quiet in that game. Last night was past that. Last night was we don't want to be here.
I get that, but at the same time, I look at it and I'm just confused. I mean, this box score is just insane to parse through. Yeah. But I'm like, why is DeRozan only playing 15 minutes and taking 3 shots? Why is Westbrook playing 20 minutes and taking 10 shots?
Because I think maybe Doug was either a conversation was had, which we don't know yet. I think there was one had last night, or it was fine if you don't want to be here, right? Then we're gonna play guys that want to be here.
But Dennis Schroeder played 25 minutes and made 0 shots. So I just look at it.
Doug felt like he wanted to be here.
But again, I would blame him for choosing to do that and just letting it sink further because it seems like everyone is turning to blame the players on it. And again, that's why I just don't know.
I just think we've seen enough. We've seen enough of DeMar DeRozan playing 35 minutes. We've seen enough of the same guys playing 35 plus minutes.
But they didn't play the other guys. Nick Clifford and Keon played more minutes than normal, but they just closed the game for the final 7 minutes when they were down 40 points.
The minutes went somewhere. And then you don't forget Keegan's back now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Keegan and Precious kind of alternate each other, but yeah, I don't know. That's kind of the thing that I'm stuck on. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Because I don't want to say the players quit. Because I don't know if the players quit or not.
Right. I mean, Santi Aldama putting up 29 points, and I like Santi. I think he's somewhat overrated. But Santi Aldama putting up 29 points, that is not a Doug thing, right? If we're talking about, hey, they keep running this specific play and Doug didn't change anything, or you know what, the Austin Reeves thing. The Austin Reeves thing, when Austin dropped the 50 burger, the next day I put it on Doug and I said, I know this team isn't good defensively, but you have to do something to slow down Austin Reeves. That is something I put on Doug. Last night, Santi Aldama going off for 29, Cedric Howard, who is a baller, 19, and Jock Landale putting up 21 in 14 minutes. That, to me, Doug is not saving that. Doug is not saving last night, which last night to me was deeper. But there are X's and O's things that Doug has been missing on. Let's get to Javi, then we got Sonny, and we got pool guy Mark. What's up, Javi? What you got for us?
How you doing, Mr. Kyle?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How you doing?
Man, reminiscing on better days.
I hear you.
It's a shame because 11 months ago, we had a Coach of the Year and a Clutch Player of the Year in the NBA. And this is what the Kings represented. And all Kings fans listening, including you guys, are station, which I know would be hard to do, but it's the only way that logically this can happen. Until literally and figuratively, all you Kings fans out there, stop purchasing tickets and going to these games and affecting Vivek's pockets. Nothing is going to change. He does not care because he's only worried about the profit margins. And if he thinks he knows more about basketball than everybody around him in the world online, as well as in reality, in person, then he has lost his mind.
Thanks for the call, Javi. Yeah, where they at now? I'm not pocket watching, but $5 bill. $5 bill.
What was the website that was doing the revenue thing? Did we ever get that update?
They never released it. Was it Sportico or Statista?
I don't remember which one. It's one of those.
$5 bill. $5 billion.
But
okay?
$30 for the next home game.
That's right. So, look,
it's been in years.
I'm not going to tell people what to do with their money, but Javi is laying it out for you. Okay? The Sacramento Kings came in number 14 on CNBC's latest list of NBA franchise valuations with an organization valued at $4.45 billion. I'm pretty sure there's a newer. That was in February. That was on Valentine's Day. I'm pretty sure there's an even newer one. They're at $5 billion now. They're at $5 billion. I'm almost certain of that. So, and that's the tough thing, right? Because that's your team. This is the one team that Sacramento has always, hey, this is us, right? This is us. So you got to make a decision. Okay, October 2025, Forbes has them at $4.45 billion. Okay? That's it. That's it. So that's on you. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but that's on you. If you don't like a restaurant, do you keep going? Right? Or do you say there's other restaurants to go to? Now, obviously, there's not a ton of other restaurants to go to with that example, right? But you can say, hey, we're eating in tonight. We're going to watch it on TV. Right? All these jerseys that are floating around, you have decisions to make. That is your hard-earned money. When you got that sale and you got to run home to your wife or to your husband, say, honey, we just made this big sale. And you tell your daughter or your son, hey, since we got this big sale, Christmas is coming up, I'm going to go get you a Keon Ellis jersey. Those jerseys be $100+. And you go and you buy them that jersey, that commercial that they're running with that father and daughter. Oh, it's lovely. That reminds me of me and my kid, hopefully. But then you watch then you get back to the actual game once the commercial ends. She's shooting in the driveway. The dad gets the tickets, and they're watching the game. And I'm thinking, what the hell game are they? What game are they at? Because they probably down 20. What they clapping for? This must have been from a couple years ago. So you see all that. You take your hard-earned money. Honey, I got the sale. And Jimmy's got a 3-3. Jimmy's been balling out. I want to buy Jimmy a Keon Ellis jersey. Then you go to the game. Keon plays 4 minutes, and the brothers lose by 30.
Or you show up to the game and you're literally We Want Keon chants.
Yeah, or you're part of it. Honey, you'll never guess what happened. We were part of We Want Keon chants.
There literally will be We Want Keon chants at the game.
Little Jimmy will never forget it. That's your call. It is your life. And you know me, I want you all to be happy. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Sonny, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Sonny? What you got for us? Happy Friday.
Hey, happy Friday to you guys. So I agree with the tickets. I no longer live in Sacramento. I live here in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I do buy the NBA League Pass so I can watch the Kings, and many nights it's up past midnight for me. And it's just getting harder and harder to watch. And it's when I lived in Sacramento, I actually had 18 season tickets, and it's hard to believe how far we have fallen. I understand it was a back-to-back, and that's still no excuse, but we were only 8 points down at the half, if I remember correctly, against OKC, and then we only lost by 14, I think.
Yeah.
And then we go to down, we lose by 41, and we were never in that game. Never, ever in that game. And I still have a very good friend that works for the Grizzlies that has a very close connection to Sacramento. And he was saying, we were talking last night, and he's like, it's one thing on the court, but you should see their body language and the lack of body language from some of the key players of the Kings, as well as the effort. And I think that's why I have the most problem. And I understand it's a bad position, not the word I was going to use, but a bad position.
You caught yourself.
Yeah. Where they're at, but I have more difficulty of, they're still professionals, and I understand, professionals have bad days even, but still, show up and try your best efforts, especially from, some of the most gritty players we had in the past, especially during the 90s and the 2000 runs. I miss that level of just dog-on-dog, gritty performance, diving for balls, and I don't know if we get back to that with this team at all.
Thanks for the call, Sonny. Great stuff. I wonder, I was going to ask Sonny, how's the weather out there in Georgia? That is one of the rare states I've never been to Atlanta. Have not been to Georgia yet. But Sonny's still holding it down from Georgia. Can you imagine Sonny had to fire up that stupid Peacock game on Tuesday a couple weeks ago at, 8 p.m. our time? Oh, come on, man. I'm not doing that.
No, don't do that.
No, don't do that.
I didn't even do that because I did the morning show last week.
Yeah.
It was 8 o'clock here, and I didn't even do it.
I'm going to have to catch these highlights or lowlights, if you will. Pool Guy Mark wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Pool Guy Mark? What you got for us?
Not much. I mean, a lot of good calls. I guess to me it kind of goes back to the Fox dilemma. Mm-hmm. Man, he was a competitor. He definitely wanted to win. And when I look at this organization, I think everyone kind of sees it's like they're really just kind of looking for the plan, Mm-hmm. So at some point, as a player, as a competitor, doesn't that kind of trickle down to all your players?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for the call, Pool Guy Mark. There has to be a level. Everybody, y'all going to make me pull out the pie chart again, aren't you? And thanks for the call, Pool Guy Mark. Always a pleasure. I got to go to the pool, the pool chart. I got to go to the pie chart again. Everybody deserves some form of blame. Ownership, you can give the ownership group as much blame as you want on your pie chart. Ownership is on the pie chart. Front office, they got a sliver. They're just coming in. But hey, unless we find out about this tinfoil hat situation, why didn't you go get a 4? Why did we have to scramble and play Russell Westbrook at the 4 and go get Precious Achiuwa, 2 dudes that were on their couch? So they get a slice too.
I mean, they won when Dylan Cardwell started.
They did.
Even though he played 5 minutes.
And you had to say goodbye to Hot Honey Jones, Isaac Jones. So they get a slice. The players, they get a heck of a slice. So they're all getting a slice. And to close out the calls, what better way to do it as we've worked our way through the phone lines? Ladies and gentlemen, TC. TC, what you got for us?
Man, check it out. What I got is there ain't no more questions, right? So now do you guys understand what I was saying? Attaching Pitt, right? That 2032 to Zach to get him off the team, right? DeMar to get this dude off the team, and whoever else is going. Domas, I believe he going, right? So the younger generation, Doug, you're going to have to make a move. But I believe Doug came to realization that, man, these vets is laying down. That's why he's so calm. He was mad and angry because he said, man, y'all going to lay down on me like that?
Yeah, thanks for the call, TC. That's a great call from TC, Kyle. We've been wrapped up in these calls. Let's just hear from a little bit of Doug when we get back, just to hear how meek he sounds All right? We're going to do that, and we still have this Zach LaVine conversation with Chris Biederman. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This Sponsor the Clock is brought to you by Light the World Giving Machine.
Download the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento sports in your pocket. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Around here, Maverick is more than a name. It's who we are. My dad climbed power poles for a living, and he taught me to keep homes running when it gets cold. This November, donate 5 canned foods to our holiday food drive and choose a furnace tune-up or an electrical safety check. We'll collect your cans at the appointment and keep your heat comfy and your lights steady. So the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com. Limited November appointments. Some restrictions may apply.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heat and Air. Right now, breaking news, they're upgrading their offering to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. You hear me talk about them as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement, and now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free, and they'll give you a second opinion and almost certainly save you money. Oh, but wait, there's more. With winter coming up, how about a free furnace special? With full system installation, you're getting a free furnace, not a discounted furnace, a free furnace, and up to $4,000 in rebates while that funding lasts. So get there right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Get Black Friday savings during the Happy Honda Days excitement going on now at Stockton Honda, Northern California's best Honda dealer. You'll score big with low payments, top trade-in value, and a huge selection of new Hondas. Don't wait. The clock is ticking at StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on the results of the study recognized on June 18, 2025, USA Today's list of California's top car dealers 2025.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everybody, it's Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Now for the last 2 years, I've been sharing the great experience I've had being a customer of Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the sales department to the service department, they're top notch. And now is the perfect time for you to have the MB of Stockton experience. The Mercedes-Benz holiday celebration is on, and that means you can get super low rates on new and certified pre-owned models. Plus, they'll throw in 3 years of prepaid maintenance on select models. They make it easy and affordable for you to drive away in the car of your dreams. And if you have a trade-in, well, they're looking for all vehicles to purchase. Any makes, any models, just holler at my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. The Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration is the gift that keeps on giving. So take the short drive down I-5 and visit my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. And while you're there, tell them Drape sent you.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
taking you up to 2 p.m. Great calls. We are 30 minutes away from Chris Biederman, and I can tell you right now, it's going to be a dirty 30.
Oh, hey,
it is going to be a dirty 30. We got a lot of NFL to get to.
At least buy me dinner first.
No. We got a dirty 30 because Chris Biederman is going to join us at 1 o'clock. So all of the NFL stuff we want to do, and we got Kings playing tomorrow. This is a dirty one.
Got prop talk.
Oh
dogs.
my goodness. That's coming up at 1:30. Also, Mike Epps tickets at 1 o'clock. So Kyle has some of the Doug sound for you. If you haven't heard Doug, think about all the other times we've heard Doug talk this season, and he's slamming his hand down on the table. They just got 40-pieced by the G League Grizzlies. Okay? They let Zach Edey walk into a 3. Okay? They were terrible. And this is Doug after the game. Here's some clips from him.
It's definitely frustrating. I think the biggest thing is when we go back, we'll look at the tape first of all, but when we look at the first quarter the other night, that's about as good a first quarter as we played, especially defensively, boxes and elbows, excuse me, in on the weak side. Guys were communicating and everything 24 hours later, similar to what happened to us with Atlanta. Young King just comes in. We have to find the ability to play the right way and play with a level of urgency, sense of urgency and energy necessary to win games on a night-to-night basis. And it's an absolute must. There's a frustration. This isn't, these are bad feelings. You don't like them, but we know that there's a process that we are going through to get to where we want to go. Really happy with the young guys. Good to see Keegan back out there trying to find his way and his win through his injury. That was huge for him. But
does that sound like a team that just lost their 7th? Can't keep count. 8th game.
By 13 or more.
Got 40-pieced and is setting, as we speak, franchise records. Does that sound like a team where that just happened?
If this goes on long enough, I'm going to start tracking their wins against that 1959 team we talked about, where they 6 players on the team retired after Maurice Stokes' head injury.
This was, Frankie, before the game. With the loss tonight to Memphis, the Sacramento Kings would match their worst 16-game start to a season in franchise history, 3-13. They did it prior to last night. They did it 5 times. Okay, so the Kings, the 2025-2026 Kings, the 6th team to do that in franchise history. Frankie says none of those teams won more than 31 games, which somehow I think is a good thing. That's the best part of what Frankie said if we're talking about these young guns and this 2026 NBA draft. But that did not sound like the Doug Christie that we know and love. That sounded like a broken man. That's what it sounded. It sounded like, all right, let's just do the thing tonight, right? I don't have it in me. Because I get it. You're going to continue to bang your hand on the table, say the same things when it's clearly not resonating, right? There's no pride. There is no pride. They don't care about pride. So what else are we going to talk about? So Doug is basically saying, I don't really give a bleep about the vets. They don't care. So let's just talk about the rookies and the good things that they did. And this is what Sam Amick said might be the case. This is what Sam Amick said. He might just have to pivot to this and do the process thing, right? Hey, we know this is a process, yada, yada, yada. And that's what he did last night. And there's probably somebody out there saying, come on, Doug, you got to let these guys know how it feels. He tried. We don't care. They're Mike Tomlin. This vet team is a team of Mike Tomlins. We do not care.
We do not care.
That's who they are.
We do not care.
So they're not going to, if I'm Doug, what am I going to be here yelling for? I feel, if I'm Doug, I feel stupid. Doing all that yelling and hooting and hollering for you to get 40-piece by Santi Aldama and Jacques Landale. What am I going to yell for? Clearly that's not working. So you know what? All right, cool. Why don't y'all just go out there and do what you need to do? I'm going to focus on the young guys. Now, Doug, you got to play them, okay? You got to play them. But I'm going to focus on the young guys, and that's what we're going to do.
Well, this is kind of what we talked about yesterday, is if you are pivoting to job-saving mode, that's the way you can kind of try to sell, here's why I should keep my job. If the veterans tune you out, the veterans tune you out.
They're gone anyway. Those guys, I don't even really count them as Sacramento Kings players.
Well, that's a little disrespectful. But
I don't.
No, I mean, that's not fair.
They're wearing jerseys.
The point, though, is that's a little too far. Now we've gone too far.
That's your opinion.
Now we've gone too far. But
I will consider them Kings players when they actually care about playing for the Kings. How about that? Is that a good deal?
But between you and Matt, we're one-upping Matt George.
No, I'm not. No.
It's like,
not at all. You get 40 piece by Jock Landale and Santi Aldama. I don't think you care very much for playing for the city of Sacramento.
But again,
you don't have to agree.
Now we're taking a step over the line.
That's your line. That's not my line.
The point, though, with Doug, we talked about it yesterday, right? If you're pivoting to job-saving mode, you can't save your job by saying we're going to be better next year. There's just no way around it. They're going to do the teardown.
Yeah.
But as long as his message is still resonating with the young players, that is the way you can protect your job. I say that to bring up this point. Doug Christie now has a 35% winning percentage as head coach of the Kings, counting interim last year. Jordy Fernandez has a 29% winning percentage as coach of the Brooklyn Nets. So, and by the way, I'm just counting interim beam team last year. But the point is, Doug technically is winning more games than Jordy Fernandez, but Jordy Fernandez's job has never been in question because of the organizational plan that they are on.
Right.
So if you pitch yourself on developing the young players, you can have job security.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the pivot he makes at some point. I don't want to project and say he sounds broken, but at the very least, he doesn't sound like the guy who last week was talking about deserving to play for the city of Sacramento.
When I say he sounds broken, he sounds like a guy that does not feel like he needs to go back and forth with the vets anymore. That I am focused on the young players. The vets, clearly it's not resonating. There's more things at play here with who wants to be here, who's even on the court, what is going on with the front office. So all Doug should be focusing right now are the guys that we are fairly sure are going to be on the team next year.
Although I will say in the full clip, we only played a snippet of it, but in the full thing, he's like, just because I'm saying this to you doesn't mean the message was the same in the locker room.
Sure.
Kind of question. So I guess
I think it was. I mean, Kyle, how many times can you? Here's the thing, though. You start to get drowned out, right? He's done the pride thing. He's done the we're not competing thing. What else? Where else can you? What else could Doug cook up to say? A couple days ago, I joked. I wasn't joking. What is Doug saying before pre-games, right? Now I'm asking the question, what can Doug be saying in post-games? What could he possibly say?
But that's why it feels like he flew, or why Amick brought up the point, maybe he has to adjust his message, because you threw all the things out there that you have.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying what he said to the media is probably a different version. Hey, guys, he's not throwing a chair against the locker room saying, we got to be better for the city of Sacramento. He's not doing that anymore. And that's not what he did in the post-game presser. It's, hey, young guys, keep on grinding. Vets, we know we got to be better. What else can you say when you get Jock Landaled?
But do you think that's just a permanent flip? Because I think
yes, I do.
I don't know.
I do.
I think if they go on a win streak.
Kyle, win streak.
I mean,
you're talking, Kyle. That should be a band win streak.
I'm saying if they win 2 or 3 games in a row.
How about one?
But I'm just making the point. If they do win a couple games in a row, you're telling me we're not going to have the same Atlanta press conference where he's throwing things at the wall.
They
again?
got No, I don't think so. They got the Nuggets next, right?
Sure.
I'm
saying, hey, Keegan's back though.
You know what? I could still have a growth spurt. A lot of things can happen. We don't know. Life might be life, and anything can happen, man.
Look, I know I've been saying this, and it sounds like a bad take now, but I'm just saying they're going to win a couple of these games by accident, okay? They're going to. It has to. In the NBA, you have to win. There's no way all these teams are going to win less than 20 games.
You know they got the Timberwolves after that, right?
Yes, and then the Suns and the Jazz, and I think another hard team after that. The Rockets, maybe.
What is more likely to happen? They've lost 8 straight. What is more likely to happen? They reach double digits in this losing streak, or Allen at 35 has a growth spurt?
Well, the double digit. I mean, it's Nuggets and Timberwolves. They've already lost 4 times to those teams.
Actually, I said that wrong.
Yeah, you saying Allen.
No. What is more likely to happen? They break the losing streak.
That's what you're saying. You're saying
yes,
they break
the losing streak, or I have a growth spurt at 35.
Rooting for the growth spurt. Just for your sake.
Same here. 916-339-1140. On the other side, we keep the conversation going. Let's discuss this Zach LaVine to get you ready a little bit for Chris Biederman, who joins us at 1, as well as what's going on around the league. LaMelo Ball responds to reports that he wants out of Charlotte. Does he? Does he not? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Injured and you're considering an LA law firm looking to charge you 45% to 50% in attorney's fees? That's overcharging. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years, and I can tell you no matter how complicated your injury case, you should never be charged 45% or 50% in attorney's fees ever. Direct, experienced, unrelenting, and honest local representation matters. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries. So for the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home with a 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Get more value for your money with the new owners at Elk Grove Chevrolet. Right now, supplier pricing is available to everyone, making it easier than ever to drive home in your dream car. Check out the amazing Black Friday specials online, like $5,000 off on the 2025 Colorado. Choose from a wide selection of new and used Chevrolets, plus flexible financing and expert maintenance. Visit them today and experience the difference. MyElkGroveChevrolet.com, where savings and service come standard.
With Progressive, you can reach customer service in the way that's easiest for you, by phone, app, or online. We know it would be great if we just magically appeared, but that's more of a genie thing, and we do insurance. But with us, you'd be like, well, it wasn't a genie, but it was great customer service, so that's nice. And sure, you probably would still like the whole 3 wishes thing, so if you meet a genie, you should definitely ask. But when you need us, contact Progressive by phone, app, or online. Just no genies. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Guys, it's time to know your numbers and what they mean. And right now, Revive Men's Health is offering a $400 comprehensive wellness panel for just $99. Free if you start treatment. Offer ends November 30th. Book today at ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sactown Sports.
Chris Biederman's going to join us in 15 minutes, and he had what felt like some exclusive chats. No, to peel the curtain back, I mean, you probably can tell, right? Not a ton of media members travel. So those that do travel, you kind of get your pick of the litter to talk to people versus when you're at home and a ton of people are around the locker room and things like that. So Chris Biederman being on the road, he got an opportunity to talk with the guys in a way that it is more difficult to do so when they're here. So he cooked up that banger of an article, and Zach LaVine, everybody is talking about what DeMar said about how it's a bleep situation, but really the meat and potatoes of it from a player standpoint, and I think we should pay attention because this guy, as much as TC wants to trade him and give him away with picks, he's probably going to remain on the Kings. That's Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine, who is the guy, funny enough, who is the guy that's, because Domantas Sabonis ain't playing, Zach LaVine, who is the guy on this roster, I think, besides obviously Keegan, because you can't move him, but he is the guy that we are most sure will be on this team next season because of the contract, and that's the guy sitting on the bench in the fourth quarter, and he don't like it. And I took it to heart because I've been hard on Zach LaVine. So he sat down with Chris Biederman, and they spoke about it, and he was pretty candid. You know what I mean? And he said, it's not good. I've never sat in the fourth. So think about it like this. You are Zach LaVine. You've made how much money in your life? You come to Sacramento, which we know what the basketball world says about Sacramento, and you are being asked to sit in the fourth for a 3-13 team? What?
In games that they kind of still have a chance to win?
Like, excuse me?
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of like well, I guess Wicked's coming out today, but this is kind of like a Wizard of Oz, do not look behind the curtain situation. But on these road game press conferences, it's like only Biederman and Draper and Katie are like the only ones at the press. I think Biederman's the only full-time traveling reporter. So like when they have media availability, it's just Chris talking to these guys for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And, you know, you get in-depth conversations. I think that's how he talked to De'Aaron Fox right before Fox got traded.
And then he's going to be out there after that Nuggets game, but Kyle said they're going to beat the Nuggets. So, you know, that's on tape.
They could be the Timberwolves.
That's on tape. 916-339.
Keegan's back.
1140. Let's get to Esteban. Wants to be part of the convo. What's up, Esteban? What you got for us?
Hey, I've been hearing a lot of talk and stuff. Just first of all, you guys are doing a great job. I do want to say, though, just as a longtime Kings fan, I'm 33 years old, you know, bleed purple and black. I just want to say, can we just get people in this organization that care and have the same passion as the fans? That at this point, it's unbelievable what we got. The owner, I don't even know what to say anymore. I had so much belief in him when he saved the team. Now it's like we get one playoff win in my adult years, and it's like we go backwards. And this is hard to see, seeing players, the body language and stuff. We the city of Sacramento, this is why I take so much pride in our team, is because we're hard workers. And when we had the team of Bibby, Stojakovic, Weber, and them, they represented the hard work that we the city of Sacramento, our fans, that we put our hard-earned dollars put into that team every time we come out and support. And the fact that we just don't have a team that's out there consistently over the years that the team has been in Sacramento is just mind-boggling. And I'm just asking, I'm hoping Vivek's listening. I know I'm only just one fan, but I'm pretty sure the other fans would say, get players out there that want to work as hard as we want to work hard to come see them.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Esteban. That's great stuff. But Esteban, just real quick, when you talk about the organization, if you're still on the line, where are you at with Scott Perry? It's been such a weird situation as he's been brought in, but, you know, some of these contracts couldn't be moved. I do think, Esteban, we're going to get to see the young guys do their thing sooner rather than later. But are you worried about Scott Perry, or are you still giving him some time to see what happens? Because you do have Doug and you do got Bobby Jackson. You got guys from that era. It just comes down to making a team that reflects that. So that falls on Scott Perry.
Again, yeah, it does fall on Scott Perry. I'm just like more of like, man, how many more GMs we're gonna go through? It's tough, man. And you know, shout out to Bobby and Doug for sticking around and just wanting to still be part of that. Like when Doug said when he first hopped on the coaching staff, 3 years ago. He said job's not finished. Man, that ignited in something to me, and I was like, that gave me so much hope. And the next thing you know, we get a playoff we get a playoff berth the following year he joins. So I got hope a little bit, but I'm just like, get people in there that are just like not on the selfish route, thinking about how many times, how many dollars the fans put in. You got fans from like since day one of 1985.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Esteban. I do feel like fans think maybe they were robbed a little bit of a real Doug Christie experience. A real Doug Christie experience where you have you got young guys that are buying in a different dimension. There is Doug Christie, and he's coaching, and maybe it could be this one, but he's coaching a scrappy team of guys that are all under 30, and they're buying in, and they're fighting for a play-in spot, but it's okay because they're leading towards something. And you see a young guy emerge as to maybe he's going to be the guy, or we're just one move away from really contending. That's what the Doug Christie tenure was supposed to be. Not this. You talk about it all the time. There are different types of learners. That was the big thing when I was in school. People were finally accepting that there were different types of learners that were visual learners, right? Hey, I have to see somebody write down the math problem, or other people just had to hear it, right? Different types of learners. And Doug, his style just does not match this team. And it should be surprising that everyone missed this, but it's not surprising because they continue to, like I said, stand in the wrong line at the grocery store. That's what they do. I think the larger question is now, was this part of the plan? Was Doug a sacrificial lamb for Scott Perry to say, hey, well, sure, you want Doug? We can do Doug. But if this thing goes south, there's no need for a lifeline because I want to get my own guy in here. And that's no dig on Scott Perry. Why? Because most GMs want their own coach. That's how it goes. So he took the job, right? How many of us, you're doing a job interview? Oh, yeah, I'm good there, right? And you don't plan on it. Hey, you're going to have to come into the office 4 times a week. Oh, yeah. You're hoping that 4 times a week turns into 2 times a week. You just say anything to get the job. Oh, yeah, Doug's great. Then once you get in there, hey, Vivek, we stink. I don't know that we should move forward with Doug. I got a guy. And I've heard names, by the way, whenever that time comes. But I got a guy. How do we know that? So Doug could have been better. He's not gone, but could be better. But he was just not put in a good situation. And if I'm Scott Perry, I don't have to put you in a good. I don't have to do anything.
Well, also to your point about the job interview scenario, there's only one candidate.
Oh, yeah. Right.
What terms it could do.
Now, could there have been another candidate if Scott Perry said, I don't want Doug, right? Or I want to bring in my own guy. We do not believe, Kyle doesn't even believe that his phone was ringing incessantly to Scott Perry. I do. What I also believe is that the whole thing was a bit of a sham as far as the other candidates. He took that job knowing that it was going to be Doug, but he took that job knowing it's got to be Doug right now.
It sounds like someone saying, hey, everyone's asking to come to my birthday party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I believe him. I just think it didn't matter because he knew he had to take Doug.
I just think it's like, how are you ever going to be able to prove it?
No, we can't. But was he laying the groundwork for after Doug? This is a desirable job.
It's still, look, I know not very many people would have taken the Sacramento Kings job had they had an open search, and many people probably would have turned down interviews for the Sacramento Kings job. But you're telling me Taylor Jenkins would have said no to an interview when he's not working right now? Like, there will be a certain level of coach that says there are only 30 of these jobs, so I will go and interview for it, and I will maybe take it.
Yeah, I don't get what you're saying.
Even if they move on from Doug, you don't necessarily have to lay the groundwork for 2 years from now. There will be coaches who want the job, and some
but Kyle, you're also arguing that he wasn't getting calls. So you're crossing on your own argument.
You're putting the words in my mouth that he wasn't getting calls. I'm saying...
No, I said he was getting calls.
Yeah, I'm not saying for sure he wasn't. I'm saying there's no way to prove it, and the process resulted in you getting the guy that was pretty much imposed on you. So therefore, why am I to believe that there were calls coming in all over the place when you did no interviews and hired the person that the management wanted you to hire?
Born Alone on the chat, that's quite the name. Born Alone says, these pieces don't fit. Are these vets not listening to DC, or they cannot do what he's asking from them? Look, Born Alone, there's a level to that, but again, you got 40-pieced. That ain't Doug. You got 40-pieced. Aldama had 29. Landale had 21. That's not, we can't do what Doug. Look, talk to me when they play the Thunder, and talk to me tomorrow night when they play the Nuggets, but not this. Not this. Chris Biederman, with that banger of an article, joins us from Denver when we return. Don't move. More Allen Stiles coming up.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder, thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration.
Thunder.
The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Around here, Maverick is more than a name. It's who we are. My dad climbed power poles for a living, and he taught me to keep homes running when it gets cold. This November, donate 5 canned foods to our holiday food drive and choose a furnace tune-up or an electrical safety check. We'll collect your cans at the appointment and keep your heat comfy and your lights steady. So the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com. Limited November appointments. Some restrictions may apply.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Savings abound at Elk Grove Honda during the Honda clearance event underway now. This is your final chance to drive home in a new 2025 Honda Accord, Pilot, or Ridgeline at Elk Grove Honda clearance prices. Right now is the right time to save, and if you're looking for pre-owned Hondas, Elk Grove Honda has a huge inventory. Visit the Elk Grove Honda 2025 Accord, Pilot, or Ridgeline clearance sale at Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sacramento, the stages are heating up, and Sactown Sports has your tickets to the biggest live shows coming your way. Kick things off with hometown favorite Tyler Rich, bringing that California country sound to Ace of Spades on November 22nd. Then crank it up with Spike and the Gimme Gimmes, the punk rock supergroup that knows how to throw a party, November 29th, also at Ace of Spades. Need a laugh? Don't miss comedy legend Mike Epps, live December 5th at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. He's guaranteed to have you rolling. And keep the music going with rising country star Larry Fleet, December 6th at Ace of Spades. Smooth vocals, killer songs, and all the good vibes. Then mark your calendar for Brooks and Dunn, April 25th, 2026 at the Nugget Casino Resort in Reno. It's going to be neon lights, boots, and big hits. Catch all the action on the Sactown Sports live events calendar at sactownsports.com and keep your weekend's game time ready.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports, 1140. Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
on Sactown Sports.
Oh, Kyle, you're lucky. You are lucky Chris Biederman of the Sac B is joining us because I forgot. This song is going. Aiden O'Connell just got named QB2. We're having a good Friday, and here we are.
We're in love, Allen. It's Friday. I'm in love.
We're not. 916-339-1140. Let's run the giveaway real quick. Mike Epps. Go see Mike Epps December 5th at Hard Rock Live. Lucky caller number. Chris, we got you. You want to give us a lucky number?
Let's go 21.
Well, that's too high. Be under 5.
4.
Caller number 4.
Or 21.
No, or 21.
If 4 doesn't pick up 21.
916-339-1140 to go see Mike Epps. Your last chance, caller number 4, 916-339-1140. Chris Biederman joins us of the Sac B. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. I know you just landed not too long ago. 2 places I've never been. I've never been to Tennessee. I've been to the Denver airport, but I don't really count that. And now you're in Denver as the Kings hope to end an 8-game losing streak. You were, of course, in the building, Chris. We've been promoting your article on the B all show long because it's incredible. How were the vibes last night, Chris, just as a whole?
Vibes weren't great. DeMar DeRozan in particular, and he wears his emotions on his sleeve, I think, probably as much as anybody on the roster. But the vibes certainly weren't great. I think it's a situation, and we probably should have seen this coming into the season, but when you have a team full of veterans and it's pretty clear that the writing's on the wall in terms of their limited futures with the team, like these guys know that they're probably not going to be around for the long haul.
Yeah.
And I think, you mix that with a first-year coach, and it's not a good mix right now. And so I would say the buy-in's not entirely there. I would say the coaching staff is probably not putting these guys in position to succeed or at least maximize them. I think the players are seeing that. I think, this is sort of the product of Vivek Ranadive making the decisions he made last year to fire Mike Brown and trade De'Aaron Fox for Zach LaVine. So I think you look at, like nobody's blameless. I think you look at all 4 levels of the organization from, ownership to general manager to coaching to players. I think you can find fingerprints from everybody on this. I'm very curious to see how this proceeds, because I don't think Scott Perry went into this naive. I think he understood that this team was going to need to get remade at some point towards building a sustainable winner. But in the meantime, if he knows it, then the players have to know it. And how do you get buy-in from the players in a scenario like that? The Kings clearly aren't. So I think that's kind of what we're seeing. This is a product of just, I think, a dysfunctional situation up and down the organization.
Talking to Chris Biederman of the Sac B. Be sure to check out all of his articles, but his newest article, as he had a good conversation with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, which we will get to. But I want to take a second, Chris, because we noticed something last night with Doug. We played some of his post-game presser and then asked the question, does this sound like a team that and maybe it does, but does this sound like a team that lost their 8th straight? They're touching franchise records at this point, and they got 40-pieced by the G League Grizzlies team by Santi Aldama and Jock Landale, and he sounded meek And for lack of a better term, he almost sounded broken. But Sam Amick, who we've had on the morning show, said Doug needs to change his approach maybe, and enough with the pride stuff and, you got to earn your respect. It felt like yesterday Doug was premiering a new version of him where, to your point, we all know that this thing has a timeline. And, hey, I'm just going to focus on the young guys because clearly the vets, what I'm saying hasn't been resonating. How did it sound last night, or how did it feel? Did it feel like Doug was deciding almost to go in a different direction now, looking at their 8th loss in a row?
Yeah, I asked him that question, like what changed, for him in terms of using a different tone last night versus the previous week against the Atlanta Hawks, right? Where after that game, he called out the shameful compete level, to use his words. And last night he was very much like, yeah, this is just kind of part of the process. So I asked him about, his sort of change in tone. And he said that, you just can't go down that rabbit hole as often, which to me, like, that reads, this is just me speculating, but somebody or multiple people within the organization had a conversation with Doug. Like, it's not sustainable to rip your team after every single loss, because there are probably going to be a lot of losses.
Yeah.
That look like, what happened in Atlanta and to a further extent last night in Memphis. So I think Doug has sort of had a reset in his mindset in terms of how the season is going to play out, and that, they might lose a lot of games and they might end up trading some of these guys and positioning for draft positioning. And like, that might be what they ultimately decide to do, in which case Doug can't be, pedal to the metal at all times when it comes to intensity and compete level, when, some of these guys might not be there for the remainder of the season. So yeah, I think it was definitely notable. And I think it just sort of speaks to just kind of this weird disconnect throughout, even going back to training camp, like Doug Christie talking about defense and competing. And it's like, this is not a roster with guys who are capable of playing the brand that you want to play. So why would you be surprised that you're not going to get great results, particularly on the defensive end? Meanwhile, the offense is also a mess. And, I asked Doug Christie a question about the offense a week ago, and he basically said, yeah, it's not, I don't care about the offense. It's not, this isn't an offensive issue. And it's like, well, it's still half the game. Like, I'm a believer in, needing defense as much as anybody. The defense has clearly been the Kings' biggest issue, even dating back to when Mike Brown was here. But when the offense is in, the bottom 4 or 5 in the league, and you have these type of offensive players, you have to look at that and look at what you're doing. And even last night, it's like, there are no easy shots for these guys. Everything is, they're pounding the air out of the ball. They're not cutting. Nobody's getting easy looks. Everything is just out of one-on-one creation. And it's clearly not sustainable, even when you have good one-on-one scorers. So I just think, going back to training camp, the messaging, the picking up 94 feet, it's like, man, Domantas Sabonis, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, these guys are not guys who are going to pick up 94 feet or who you even want doing that. So there's just been like a steady disconnect throughout each level, it feels like. And what we're seeing is sort of the results of that on the floor.
Talking to Chris Biederman of the Sac B. Be sure to check out all of his work, specifically what he just dropped from last night's game as the Kings dropped their 8th in a row. As we talked about the guys that have been sitting and not playing and where things are going in the future, Chris, one of the guys that we are more so sure is going to be on the team next season, maybe mostly because of his contract, is Zach LaVine. And Zach LaVine, you're looking at a team that's 3-13. He's making $40 million, and he's being sat in the 4th in games that are close enough. Doesn't make a ton of sense, and I get it. Doug is looking for something. You spoke with Zach LaVine, and he had a lot to say. That's really what spoke to me in this article. Obviously, the DeMar stuff was great too, but I've been really hard on Zach LaVine. I think a lot of people have been. He had the back thing. He hasn't been taking a ton of shots. What you got out of him yesterday, it felt like the first time I had heard him be as transparent as he was when he discusses the shot taken and things like that. And the fact that he is coming off the bench for the first time in his career feels like he's the one guy, especially with Domantas Sabonis out. You can't move Keegan Murray this season anyway. Feels like he's the one guy that you probably can't bench right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would think so. It was interesting to talk to him about it because, he said, we're not doing it right if I'm only getting 8 to 10 shots. And at the same time, it's kind of like, well, you play a role in that. Like you can go get your shots. But I think it also speaks to just the lack of spacing that they've had. That's kind of the other thing that I think doesn't get discussed enough with this Kings team is with Keegan Murray out and the fact that they don't have any other real like two-way wings. Everyone's playing out of position, including Zach LaVine. Like a lot of times it's been, three point guard sized guys and Zach LaVine at the 4 in a bunch of these lineups. And it's like, it's just, that's not optimizing, Zach LaVine at all. And that's not to make excuses for him, but I think it's just part of the reason why some of these guys aren't playing well is because they're not in the proper role. And I think that comes down to roster construction. It comes down to coaching. But for Zach LaVine specifically, he hasn't been aggressive in all of these games. Last night, he was super aggressive.
Yeah.
Like I was sitting, at the box score behind the scorer's table, and Zach LaVine was playing really, really hard. It seemed like even on both sides. And, basically what he said was like, I have to be shooting more. And Doug, I understand Doug wanting to, push whatever buttons he can to help this team win, but I think I can do that too. I think I can help this team win. And for whatever reason, he's had a pretty short leash with Zach. And I'm not sure if he's trying to send a message. I'm not sure, exactly what's going on there in Doug's mind. Doug's kind of played it off like it's not a big deal. But Zach straight up told me last night, he's like, I don't like it. Like, I think I should be playing in the fourth quarter, and I think I could help this team win better than anybody. So at some point, the ball's got to be in Zach's court, and Zach probably needs to just say, screw it. I'm gonna take 12 shots in a fourth quarter, and I'm gonna try to score 20 points in the fourth quarter and just put this offense on my back because no one else is doing it. And I think that's kind of what Doug wants him to do. But there's sort of this weird, chicken or egg thing when it comes to the coaching staff and Zach LaVine's aggressiveness. And it's just kind of in a weird point right now. And I don't think Zach's at all happy with it. And I think he was pretty diplomatic to me about it. But it'll be really interesting to see what happens from here on out, because if the Kings are going to trade Zach LaVine, or at least try to, they need to maximize his value and, get him to averaging 25, 30 a game, shooting, at a high percentage from 3. And right now, if Zach LaVine's sitting in the fourth quarter, you definitely are minimizing his trade value.
Talking to Chris Biederman of the Sac B, and one of the reasons we maybe thought they could be able to do something this season and, just 8 seed, something like that, is because all we heard over the summer was point guard, point guard, point guard. Chris, it seems like the most Sacramento Kings thing ever. I saw last night, no, they need a specific Lonzo Ball type of point guard. They go from having no point guards to 2 point guards and Russell Westbrook and Dennis Schroeder, and still somehow do not have the correct type of point guard that this team specifically needs, according to certain people throughout the league. Do you buy that with the point guard stuff, or are we just to the point where this team just doesn't make sense? Because now it turns into, well, Dennis Schroeder isn't the right type of point guard. Dennis Schroeder has been benched for Russell Westbrook. The Russell Westbrook thing feels like the shine is a little bit off of it. It was really fun at the beginning when they were beating the Warriors G League team, but now all of a sudden he's out there. He's not terrible. He's just Russell Westbrook. How did they bungle this point guard situation and the idea that everything that you're talking about in setting up Zach LaVine, even DeMar DeRozan, that was that we heard at training camp, no, it's Dennis Schroeder. He's playing great. He's the FIBA champion. Then they get Russell Westbrook, and he was playing great early, but it's Russ, and it's a very acquired taste, if you will. I just don't know what to make of how we went from no point guards to 2, but they still don't have the right point guard. And then all around the league, there's a bunch of 6'7" dudes who are Denny Avdias that handle the basketball anyway.
Yeah, I think it's a spacing issue ultimately. Like I think given the players that you're relying on to carry the offense, you need to give them space. You need DeMar DeRozan to have room to operate. And when you're playing Russell Westbrook, who's not a good 3-point shooter, and when you're playing Dennis Schroeder, who's also not a good 3-point shooter, teams can pack the paint and they can pack the mid-range area, which is where DeMar has typically thrived. But when there's no spacing and teams are basically asking these point guards to shoot threes, then that makes DeMar DeRozan's life a lot more difficult. On top of the fact that DeMar DeRozan is getting guarded by power forwards.
Yeah.
And that makes it a lot more difficult for him to go down to the block and go to the mid-range and get his shots where he typically does. So I think it's a spacing issue. And this was probably the biggest thing on top of defensive versatility with Keegan Murray's, absence, is that you just don't have enough floor spacers. The Kings have been playing predominantly with one 3-point shooter, one reliable 3-point shooter in Zach LaVine in the starting lineup. And, that's just not how the NBA works. Like, a lot of teams are playing 4 out minimum. A lot of teams have stretch 5s and they're playing 5 out. And that's just the way, pace and space. Like, the Kings don't have any space because they don't have any 3-point shooting. And when they signed Dennis Schroeder, it's like, okay, great. But he's another guy who's kind of a first point guard. And a first point guard doesn't really work when you have Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, who are guys who want to score with the ball in their hands and not cut a whole lot, or not, Zach can space it, but Zach's not a cutter. But like they just don't. The spacing has always been the issue with the offense, on top of a lack of movement. And to me, when you're looking at the point guard position, you need a spacer. You need somebody who doesn't necessarily need to have the ball in his hands the entire time, because these other guys are going to get buckets. You just need somebody to space the floor to make sure that they have the room they need to operate. And Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook aren't those guys.
Chris Biederman, thank you so much for joining us. Last one, Chris, and then we'll let you get to it because I know you're out there in Denver. Last one for you. Where do you think this goes next, right? DeMar DeRozan, and I was meaning to ask you about DeMar only playing 15 minutes. Did it feel like there was a reason for that? A lot of people said maybe DeMar doesn't want to be here anymore. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. Where does this thing go next? Could we be seeing some news break of DeMar maybe saying, you know what, we're moving in the direction of waiting for a move to be made and a trade to be made? Do they just start the young guys? Where do you see this going next? And what do you expect to see tomorrow night in Denver when it comes to a starting lineup and, I guess, minutes distribution?
Yeah, you know what? I really don't have any idea, to be honest, because the one thing I do feel like DeMar's not in a very good headspace right now. I think that was pretty clear. And, it's unfortunate because, DeMar has been so open about mental health, and obviously he wrote a book, and he's been sort of at the forefront of the being vulnerable movement among athletes. And man, he came into training camp with just this like renewed mindset. He was like, last year was so terrible. It was such a grind on me mentally. And he said he did some things in the off season to really, address his mental health. And he came in feeling great about the season. And he seems like he's just back in that place where, back in that air of negativity. And he said, the uncertainty, like the question I asked was like, is the uncertainty with the roster stuff, like throughout for everybody, is that contributing to this? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, it's everything. It's definitely something that, is on his mind. The fact that like this roster doesn't seem like it's going to stick around, and it's impacting the way he's playing. And so, having a potential trade hanging over your head just doesn't seem like something that is jiving with DeMar. And it doesn't seem like it's helping. The fact that this is a transition period for the Kings, like, feels like, it feels like it's hurting the entire roster, DeMar maybe more than anybody else. So that's definitely something that I think is contributing to this. In terms of what's ahead, I would a trade request from DeMar surprise me? Not at all. I'm not sure what his value is at this current point. I would expect that Scott Perry is, I know for a fact Scott Perry came into the season thinking 15, 20 games, we're going to evaluate this thing, see what we have, and then move from there. You're getting to that 20 game mark and it's not looking great. So I would expect some moves to be coming. In terms of the starting lineup, I don't know. I would have thought Doug Christie would have pivoted away from the vets at some point, by now. I would have thought it would have happened by now, but it hasn't happened yet. So we'll see. I'll dig around tomorrow when the Kings have shoot around and obviously the game against the Nuggets. But it's interesting times in Kingsland for sure.
Did you get any good food out there in Memphis, or do you got any spots out? Because you're always on the road. Did you get anything in Memphis, or are you going to get anything in Denver? I mean, you got to get something out of this. You deserve this for what you're giving us. You deserve this, Chris.
Thank you. Gus's Fried Chicken. I know it's not, I think it originated in Memphis, but it's a chain throughout the South. I go there in New Orleans and Atlanta too. But there's a Gus's a few blocks from the arena there in downtown Memphis, and it's always great. But yeah, Memphis, I don't know, man. Memphis is not the food scene in Memphis. Like, I guess, I know people love catfish and those types of things. I don't want to say anything bad about Memphis, but I will say it's probably not my favorite food city.
Okay.
Aside from Gus's. I love Gus's.
I guess, you got the barbecue out there. But what about, is there anything in Denver that you got? Anything?
There are a lot of great restaurants in Denver.
They don't have like a cuisine though, do they?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, the food's good. Like Denver's a cool city. A lot of good bars, a lot of good beer, a lot of good restaurants. There isn't like one particular.
You snowboard out there?
No. No, Alan.
I'm just catching, catch an early one. I don't know.
I'll see a friend tonight who lives in the area, and then I'll do the game tomorrow. But no, I'm not on vacation. I'm here to grind.
You got guys. You got to talk to these players about who's going to start. All right, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Chris Biederman, thank you so much for taking the time, man. We really do appreciate it. Be sure to check out all of Chris' work on the Sac B. Be sure to check him out on social media as well. It is always a joy when we get to read work done by Chris Biederman. He still owes me a tea time to show me how to stop my slice. Chris Biederman, thank you so much for joining us, man.
All right, man. See you soon.
Great stuff. Outstanding, man. What a show. What a show. And Chris Biederman, he was on top of it. He was in the building. Man, oh, man. I don't know if I'm more stuck on the DeMar stuff or the Zach LaVine stuff.
Oh, for me, it's the DeMar stuff.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, just short pause. We'll get to it later. That was a crazy senior segue by you.
What are you talking about?
I mean, Chris just gave this eloquent answer about how DeMar DeRozan has battled mental health and talked about his book, where he wrote trying to help people, how he's in a bad headspace, even though he tried to work on it.
I thought.
No, that was the question.
Right.
And then you went to, so you got any good restaurants in the area?
We were wrapping it up. I said, great job. All right. And then I was trying to make Chris, he's bogged down in this. I want to make sure he's good too.
I didn't hit the senior segue, but this is just a post interview.
Senior segue. I gotta make sure my boy Chris Biederman is taking care of himself out there.
That was just a senior segue of
because I saw you in the back laughing. I don't know what you were laughing about.
Yes, that the fact that he gave this that was a very revealing interview about like the state of these guys on the team and how it's being affected.
I said thank you. Check out all the work.
That's not. I thought you would ask a follow-up question.
No, we're running out of time.
But you had enough time to talk for 4 minutes about his food.
This is about building relationships. Don't you know Tony Vitello? Scott Perry.
But you had 4 minutes to ask him about food spots in Memphis and Denver, and then if he would snowboard.
He's got to look. Chris did his job here. I don't need to. Get everything out of the segment. It was a great segment, and you got to break this stuff up.
No, it was great. I'm just stuck on the incredible senior segue you just pulled off to go from him answering eloquently about DeMar DeRozan's mental health and how he's not playing as well because he's in a bad headspace to just, hey, you going to snowboard while you're in Denver?
SSX Tricky, you got anything for you out there? Chris Biederman, that was great stuff. All right, it's time. And it's going to be 30, and it's going to be dirty. We enter the Dirty 30 to close out the show. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Roseville Auto Mall.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday. Out the door to mostly sunny skies. The afternoon temperatures will warm into the lower 60s. We'll have light winds around Sacramento, but some stronger winds across the northern Sacramento Valley. Getting into the overnight tonight, we expect clear skies, some patchy fog first thing Saturday morning. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Black Friday deals are here at the Roseville Auto Mall. Drive away in a great vehicle at the best deal during our Black Friday sales event. 20 top brands and thousands of vehicles in stock daily with savings as big as the selection. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
Sacramento, the wait is over. The all-new Hard Rock Sports Bar is here at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Sacramento at Fire Mountain. Enjoy the ultimate 24/7 sports watching destination with 20 big screens with all the action for the premier game day experience. There's no other place you'd want to be to watch all the games with you and your friends. Now open at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Sacramento at Fire Mountain. For more details, visit casino.hardrock.com/Sacramento.
Now is the time before winter is full on in your kitchen to make sure your heat or your furnace is ready. How do you do that? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating will get the job done for you like they did for me last winter when our system crashed and burned in the dead of winter. Check them out, leesair.com. Right now, get $100 off any AC heating or plumbing repair. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating does it all, and they've been doing it at a high level for 40 years. See how they can help you stay warm and cozy all winter at leesair.com. That's Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, license number 635355.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Born in 1892 to a socially prominent family, she was the consummate athlete, proficient in golf, tennis, marksmanship, swimming, and car racing. Many considered her the greatest horsewoman of the century. She was a pioneer in the field of golf course development with 3 world-class courses on her resume: the Women's National Golf and Tennis Club, Cypress Point, and Pasatiempo. Working for SFB Morse of Pebble Beach fame led to her second golf course development, which many consider to be the greatest golf course in the world, Cypress Point, where she developed a lifelong friendship and professional relationship with famed architect Alistair McKenzie. Pasatiempo in Santa Cruz was her third development, where she hosted the likes of Bobby Jones, Will Rogers, Babe Saharias, and more. Today, her place is alongside many others in the World Golf Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Marion Hollins, a visionary golf course architect and pioneer of the game. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heat and Air. Right now, breaking news, they're upgrading their offering to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. You hear me talk about them as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement, and now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free, and they'll give you a second opinion and almost certainly save you money. Oh, but wait, there's more. With winter coming up, how about a free furnace special? With full system installation, you're getting a free furnace, not a discounted furnace, a free furnace, and up to $4,000 in rebates while that funding lasts. So get there right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Great stuff from Chris Biederman. Outstanding stuff, I should say. And look, I think the reality is This thing is going to end soon. It's just a matter of when. Are we going to be eating turkey? Is it going to be before? Is it going to be before Christmas? It all comes down to who else is interested in some of these players. And I don't know. Chris wasn't really sure how to discuss the situation with DeMar DeRozan and the starting lineup more specifically. But yeah, the way Chris was talking, I wouldn't be surprised if we again don't see some people tomorrow.
See, this is what is tough about it. It's still kind of too early
It's too
to
early.
do that.
It is too early. But is that worse than, I mean, DeMar playing 15 minutes? I mean, what's worse, a facade of, yeah, you're going to start and then we're just going to secretly pull you? Yesterday was able to hide because they got blown out. But what if it's a close game? You know what I mean? It's not as easy to hide what you're doing.
So I'm just kind of looking up the Kings schedule real quick, and I think December 15th is, I think it's like, depending on the cup, because they have to add games in there. Mm-hmm. I think they have 12 games still until December 15th. Like, they've only played 16, and there's still 12 until the earliest trades can get done. So, like, if you're sitting guys down now and crossing the Rubicon in that way where there's no going back, you still got 20 games left before these guys are going to get traded. Well, like, what are you going to do?
And
you kind of have to keep going just for the sake of you don't want them to check out and this locker room get hostile.
Well, I don't know. Maybe is it hostile or just we're all on the same page? Because clearly, I think that's why I keep saying conversations are probably being had and conversations need to be had, because clearly they're not on the same page right now. That's where I'm more so at. So how do you get on the same page, right? Is it, again, we've talked about this, understanding what is coming for DeMar DeRozan, and look, I don't know, maybe he would start on the Clippers, but we've always thought there's a chance that DeMar would come off the bench for wherever he's headed next. Do you say, hey, this is now the time where we are working on your value and you are going to most likely come off the bench for a contender, so let's just do it that way? And how does DeMar feel about that? I don't know. But you're already sitting. My whole point is, why are you ticking off Zach LaVine, who is the most likely on the roster to be on the roster next season?
I mean, it's ticking all of them off, it seems like, except Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone. Sabonis is upset with his role in the offense.
That's really true. Nobody's happy.
Yeah, well, it's not even that no one's happy. It's like they're actively upset because as much as people want to point to quitting or Hart or representing the city, like, these guys genuinely want to win. Mm-hmm. Like, it is probably crushing DeMar DeRozan that they have lost 8 in a row.
It's embarrassing.
Sure, and he's been through bad teams before in his career. Maybe, probably not this bad.
I don't know. I don't know. All I know is this team stinks.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's been on a stinkier team.
He's been on teams that have missed the play-in before. I'll say it that way. Like, this is not the first time DeMar DeRozan has been on a bad team. By the way, he's been on 3 different teams that missed the play-in.
Somebody said, aren't they on track for like 18 wins or something?
I think it's 16 right now.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Well, here's the thing that I'll say. It's not that it can't happen. It's that it can't happen to them and the Pacers and the Hornets and the Wizards and the Nets and the Pelicans. Mm-hmm. Like, not everyone can finish below 20 wins. They can all finish below 30, but not everyone is going to finish below 20.
Yeah. What a time to be alive. Great stuff from Chris Biederman.
And this is how I know Chris is a good journalist, because I feel so much empathy for DeMar DeRozan now. With Chris's words, he was able to invoke empathy from me for DeMar DeRozan, and that is a sign of a great journalist.
Well, and now Ryan saying it is kind of crazy to follow up from a description of someone's mental health with, hey, any good snowboarding spots in Memphis? That's not even what happened.
I mean, that is basically what happened.
That is not what happened. I said, wow. Thank you for this, Chris. Be sure to follow him and read the whole article.
You better be careful, because we can pull tape on this.
Pull the tape. That's not what happened.
Are you sure?
First of all, I asked him about food.
You act as if this conversation isn't public record.
First of all, I asked him about food after that.
And then you asked him if he was going to snowboard in Denver.
Yes. Then I did ask him that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Immediately after he laid out this eloquent point about DeMar being in a bad headspace.
I don't know I think I'm struggling with the immediately after.
There was no follow-up question.
No. There is no, because the interview was done. Chris did his time. Now I want to talk to...
The interview was done except for 4 minutes about food and snowboarding.
425 says Denver's got green chili.
So what?
Well, I'm just saying. People wanted to know.
People really wanted to know. Look, I'm not saying good or bad. I'm just saying this is the reality of what happened, Allen.
Okay.
Look, and you know what? For better or for worse, you deserve a 5-star Senor Segue for that crazy transition.
Chris is a human. We're talking about being healthy and happy, and food does that.
But you're not even talking about DeRozan.
We know. He just told us.
But the whole point is that Chris Biederman's mental health, I don't want to speak for him, but that wasn't what the conversation was.
We know. All right. Chris knows what it is, man. All right. You guys are funny, though. All right. Let's get to a little bit of NFL. It has been a fully beam-filled day, if you will.
Today's the day that broke some people.
It broke a lot of people. It broke me.
I saw even Kimberly, who's always on the Sack Chat. It was like, I think I'm getting to the point where I'm going to tune out.
Look, man, that Buffalo-Houston game, Josh Allen, where are you Josh Allen fans at? No, Houston was on one last night.
So this is so funny. I never flipped away from the Kings game. So after it was over, I just turned off the TV forgetting. I woke up and I was like, whoa, the Texans won? How did that happen?
Yeah, I definitely had the Kings on my laptop. They don't get on the TV anymore. Not if something else is going on. So tomorrow, I guess they'll get on the TV tomorrow, but most of the time they won't.
I don't know. What time's the game tomorrow?
There might be a college game.
It's pretty bad college football slate.
They're lucky.
This is the week where teams either take buys or schedule the Citadel.
Let's get to the rest of the slate for Week 12. Pittsburgh at Chicago, Kyle. I think this is worth talking about. Chicago is kind of rolling. This is the game.
I think they're in first place.
Yeah, yes. This is one of the games where, hey, people are talking about you now, so what are you going to do? Pittsburgh is all over the place with their 18 tight ends. I like I like Chicago in this game.
I'm going to wait because Aaron Rodgers has a broken wrist, and we don't know if he's going to play.
Don't they have the same backup they've had for like a decade?
Yes, it's the guy he left and then came back.
Okay.
It is Mason Rudolph, who Myles Garrett hit over the head with his own helmet.
The Patriots, Bengals, I guess the unction's over. Jamar Chase is suspended. He's on my fantasy team, so New
Joe
England
Shiesty
rolls.
Coming back.
Yeah.
Should he just hold out? Should they just hold him out?
Why? Giants at Lions. You never know with the Lions, to be honest with you, but I think Amon-Ra is going to have a bounce back because Jared Goff won't have gloves on. I don't know if they cover 12.5, though.
No, I'll tell you exactly how this game is going to end. It is going to be a 7-point game with a minute to go, and Jameis Winston is going to throw the most insane interception you've ever seen in your life.
I like the Giants to cover, but I think the Lions win. Minnesota at Green Bay. Look, you got, man, oh man, I know they're paying them good money, but they got Justin Jefferson talking every day about mentoring J.J. McCarthy. How about don't stink, J.J. McCarthy? Just let Justin Jefferson, I know they're paying him, but he's doing the most I've ever seen a wide receiver have to do.
I saw the funniest joke this week, which was a Vikings fan saying, J.J. McCarthy top draft pick bust, so they should cut J.J. McCarthy, immediately sign him again so Kevin O'Connell can reclamation project him.
I think I like the Vikings in this just because I never trust Green Bay, but I don't know. I would stay away from that game. Green Bay by 6, I definitely don't trust.
Historically speaking, you should pick the Packers over the Vikings.
Seattle at Tennessee, don't care. Colts at Chiefs. Now, this is the one. I might pay for NFL ticket for this game.
I'm nervous, Allen, because Kansas City can't win the division. They'd have to go like 6-1 to get the 5 seed.
I need to see this game. This is the one.
This is the one, though, because it's at Arrowhead and because their backs are against the wall. This is the one where it's going to be like the Chiefs win by 20.
Or we find out that they don't got it. I got the Chiefs in that game, though. Jets, Ravens, don't care. Oh, my goodness, Shador. In Vegas, the stench of the last blowout as CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, fresh off of hanging out the night before, put up, 2 touchdowns each, whatever it is. I don't know, man. I'm locked into this game. I don't think we get it out here, but I'm locked in. I might have to buy an NFL ticket for this weekend. Kyle, look, there's a couple. I know I got too many games to watch No, Kansas City's at 10. Kyle, I need to watch this game.
Didn't we decide it's a win-win either way? Because either Shador will stink and he'll get traded to the Raiders, or Shador will ball out, you'll be right, and the Raiders will
Fernando
get
Mendoza.
a worse pick.
That's right.
Or Ty Simpson.
I don't know, man. I think, you know how the Raiders get down. I think I got the Raiders in this game, unfortunately. Jacksonville at Arizona. Who cares? Eagles at Cowboys. Look, I mean, if the Cowboys want to be taken seriously, this is the game where they wet the bed. So I think they will wet the bed, but at some point they're going to win one of these games. I'm just tired of picking them and they lose.
Man, the Eagles are like the most bad vibes good team ever. Like, everyone still thinks they'll win the NFC, but it's like A.J. Brown's on streams being upset.
This is the one game against Dallas's defense, though, where Jalen Hurts can air it out a little bit, I would say.
If he's capable. They're saying Jalen Hurts a bum who can't throw.
Hold on. You need to be respectful.
They're saying Tanner McKee should play.
Atlanta Hawks at Saints, don't care. Tampa Bay at Rams. You know, I love my guy Baker, but the Rams, that defense, it's in L.A. Not that totally matters, but Baker, a little mini homecoming for him. I think that the Rams get it done. And last but not least, Carolina at Niners. Somebody said this might be a shootout. I would love it for Schmal and Miles taking the overs, but I think they're going to be all over Bryce Young. I think the Niners win easily.
I think the Niners win easily, although every time I pick the Panthers, I'm wrong. So I'm just fade me. Every time I pick the Panthers or the Dallas Mavericks, I'm just always wrong. So go whatever you say.
Whitey Gleason joins us on the other side, and we'll see who else joins us. Sound South, Sactown Sports.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 for line without autopay. Debit bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions.
Like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures. Until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
The winter service event is on at Maida Subaru. Now is the time to let Maida Subaru get your Subaru road ready for the winter weather with exceptional savings on tires, brakes, wiper blades, and more. See all the service specials at maidasubaru.com.
Live and local
It's Allen Stiles
on Sactown Sports.
So we double checked. We ran the tape, and Chris Biederman, who joined us from the Sac B, what happened was Whitey Gleason's joining us right now. Chris Biederman, he talked about DeMar. Then we had a couple different questions. Then he reiterated DeMar in my closing question of what's going to happen next. And he mentioned how DeMar isn't in a good place. Then it ended.
Yes. So you're proving my point that after he gave that point, you immediately pivoted to talking about food. And this is the other part, Whitey. Then followed it up with, Chris, are you going to snowboard while you're in Denver?
I was kidding. No, sometimes some of these hardcore snowboarders, they get out there real quick. Just a morning run. It's like a workout. Right, Whitey?
Sure, I guess.
You ever snowboarded?
I have not.
You ever skied?
Kinda. Not much.
Kinda.
Yeah, not very well.
I love that you have Chris Biederman going to Tahoe every morning to just hop on the slope.
Or golf. Getting around. It's the same idea. Whitey Gleason joins us.
Hello.
To close out the show. Oh, my goodness.
Did anything really change last night?
A lot.
Really?
A lot.
I'm closer to you, Whitey.
I mean, last night.
I mean, I thought I said they were going to win. I told you guys they're going to win. They didn't win. So I was wrong. But then you watch the games like, oh, okay, I see how it is. Yeah, it's not like, what's going on here? I mean, I think people are just overreacting a little bit. I know it was terrible, but it's not like they were okay. They were pretty good. They were okay. And then the bottom fell out. They've been trending this way.
Well,
why you compare them to the Hindenburg?
Nah, yeah.
Alan doesn't like to talk about the Hindenburg.
Well, we don't.
I don't understand why.
It's just, I don't.
That happened in New Jersey.
Yeah. It's fine. I just,
anyway, okay. All right, you're not comfortable. Yeah.
No.
I mean, like, if something happened and there's no one on Earth who's alive still.
It's like the Zach Lowe thing. I'll just call it the Zach Lowe thing.
Okay.
Right. Well, now it sounds like Zach Lowe was responsible.
But anyway, getting back to what I was trying to make as a point,
yes.
I think people are acting like, oh, well, that's it now. It's like, hold on. I know that was bad, but it's been trending this way.
I think Kyle made a good point because it wasn't a national game, but it was a lot of teams. There's not a lot of basketball on Thursdays. So I do think the slate matters. I think either way, it would have been a thing. But I do think the fact that there was only 4 games. I mean, this was the talk of the town, Whitey. I had people texting me. Some of our former coworkers out there in the Bay, they were having a ball at it.
Yeah.
And to that point, you were of the mindset this team is not good. A lot of us were of the mindset they're not good, but they're also not this bad. And that's where we've struggled with the Doug thing. And now people are saying Doug's getting hung out to dry and all this stuff. Because I think there's a difference between they don't have the horses to defend and quitting. And Kyle, certain people don't feel comfortable saying, I don't know whether a player quit or not. And we don't know, right? All I know is they're not that bad, and it did look like nobody wanted to be there last night.
Yeah, they don't have the horses. They have more like pygmy goats.
Yes. Not even donkeys.
Right.
Not even wonky donkeys.
No. So, yeah, I don't know if you saw. I tweeted something when the second quarter started because they were down, 12?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, they could come back in this game. It's going to be a good test of their want to. And then before I even said that, I was like, never mind.
Yeah.
You can see they don't really have much of that tonight.
Yeah, there's a feeling where, and I've had it last year as well, where you still have a belief. I had it in the Bulls game, where you don't believe it because you just think that this team is better, where the other team is going on a little bit of a run.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, cool. Yeah, Josh Giddey, good for you. And Matas Buzelis, he's my guy. Good for you. And then there's a moment where you think, oh, they're actually going to lose this game. And that feeling is coming sooner and sooner. Now I just think it before the game starts. But I remember that Bulls game being a game, and same thing last season, specifically when they had De'Aaron, thinking, all right, the other team's going on a run, but they're going to get their bleep together and they'll figure it out. And I specifically against the Bulls this season, that was the first time I was wrong in that way, thinking, hey, they're going to – because even the Laker game, fine, Austin Reeves is just going to be on a heater. But that Bulls game specifically was this team is better. Zach LaVine, he's home where he spent a lot of time. They're going to figure it out, and this is a game that the Kings should win. Now, I don't even get that feeling anymore.
I get the sense, and it's not the first time over the years I've had it with the Kings – it feels like whoever put this team together, and this has been different people over the years, but it's almost like they put the team together in a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, okay, we got some of that. And, when you're competing, whatever you're competing in, you got to look at who are we competing against?
Mm-hmm.
So you put this team together. Oh, we got this. Then you go against these guys like Memphis and the Hawks, and they're so long and they're fast. And it's like, no, you may think you put together a good team, but you're no match for what the rest of the league is doing at this time.
Well, it's funny, Whitey, because now you've given me an excuse to meet my quota and talk about my playing days, because it does...
Basketball playing days?
No. But it does...
I don't see the connection then.
Well, it does remind me of fall ball, right? You'll have every team... You'll have your Friday guy, your Saturday guy, your Sunday guy in college baseball. And when you're scrimmaging each other... You feel like we got some dogs. We got some, then you get up against the other Friday guy who's throwing 96, and you think, oh, our Friday guy is our Friday guy, but that's not really a thing. Oh, our 3-hitter is our 3-hitter, but they got a real 3-hitter, and that is what I think happened in training camp. They're playing each other thinking, we out here cooking,
I heard you saying that,
and then they get out there thinking, oh.
Nobody can stop us. No, we can't stop anybody.
You can't stop yourselves.
Yeah.
That's the problem, and that is exactly what happened. They were in that bubble, like you said, in that vacuum, and they were in that same gym, I believe, where we do media day. And Whitey, oh my goodness, Devin Carter would step back threes. They're thinking the league ain't ready for what's about to happen.
Maybe.
And then they get out there, and everyone is just looking like the Boogie Cousins meme, thinking, what are you guys doing, man?
I think you made a really good point. I believe it was you. I apologize if it wasn't.
You
talked
wasn't.
about how hasn't been any really connection with these players in this city. And that's really been important over the years here, even with the bad teams.
Yes, yeah. Specifically for how Doug taking them up to the beam last season, specifically for how Doug is going to be successful as a coach, at least how I believe. He's sitting there talking about pride and all this stuff in the post games, not last night, but previously. These guys are 34, 35 years old. They have their quote-unquote homes. They already did that. That's why it would have resonated, and it still can once you get to the younger guys.
And I think that was one of the problems with what Coach Christie did earlier when he got so angry. That leaves you no card to play when things get worse.
And then
you
they got worse.
Do it again.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't keep dipping your paintbrush in that paint.
He pulled it out.
What a great way to close. I didn't know where
it was going.
Well, because I was thinking about watercolors when you dip it. Because, Tyler Styles has the water paint. All right. Whitey, we cannot do.
I want my money.
What are you talking about?
I want my Sactown Sports Fun Box.
Why?
I dominated yesterday in Prop Talk.
Who did you have again?
I had Davis Mills on touchdown passes, and I had Keegan Murray points.
Dang.
Let's go.
Whitey's on a heater.
Keegan was the big winner yesterday.
You know who didn't? You know who ended with negative yards? Woody Marks receiving.
Are you serious?
They threw it backwards, and I'm like, no, Woody, don't catch it. Don't catch it. And he got drilled, and Schmallen looks at the app, and it goes to -5. I'm done. I'm done with I'm done with the running back receiving.
Who's on the $20 bill, the Sactown Sports Fun Box? Would that be J. Ross? Jose?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably J. Ross.
No, it's got to be Dave.
Or Dave.
On the 20? Jose on the 50?
By the way, Whitey, you see that little bag of donut holes right there? You want to guess how many Dave ate in one segment?
17.
It's 18 for the whole show, but 9 in one segment.
Oh, that's weak. I could... 9? That's nothing.
We can't do prop talk because the Kings play tomorrow. What about dogs, guys? Look, Whitey, I don't know if you heard, but free Devin. I know it's crazy that it's me, but
maybe he was
free
sick.
Devin.
I know he was sick.
He's there.
I know, but I was wondering that too. I'm just wondering if he's still sick or something.
Also, I think you're picking Devin more than anyone else.
I'm not doing Devin. I'm not picking Devin again.
I also need you to run the tankathon real quick.
I'm taking Drew Eubanks. Sure.
Wow, I was just thinking of doing that.
Taking Drew Eubanks.
So double Drew Eubanks.
Because, you know.
No, I'm going Maxime right now.
Okay, I like that. I'll go with Keon Ellis. I believe in the young guys.
I'm going to reset it. It was 8. Whitey saw me. It was 8.
So he is changing it.
And then I did it again and it went to 7. All right. Thank you to, fully loaded show. And thank you to Chris Biederman. Thank you to Matt George. Thank you to all of the callers, texters, Sack Chatters. Really appreciate it. Thank you to Kyle. Great job as always.
Who's on the show today?
Yes.
Rod Brooks, Jerry Reynolds, JT Snow.
JT Snow. You know, JT Snow, be sure to tell him this. The first home run that I saw live. The first home run I saw live, JT Snow. Well, Whitey did it, not me, Jay Johnson as well. Don't go anywhere as the Drive guys are up here. Until Monday, together back. Like the bean.
Don't forget my podcast.
Don't forget my podcast.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day